News Talk STL.
Don't try to make me stop, no inspiration. You have a soul so dark, it is no more. And all at once depart, no destination. You're making cold my heart to fight your war. Stop it right now! I have had enough of this. Turn my eyes to your indifference. Stop it right now before you blow us all away. You wanna do that? Get up! Get up!
You live in St. Charles County? Then you can get Mid-Rivers News Magazine delivered free to your home just by asking for it. Mid-Rivers News Magazine is the only print source for the political, school, business, and sports news happening in your hometown. Simply visit midriversnewsmagazine.com/subscribe to get a copy delivered to your mailbox. Or you can pick up a free copy at all area Deerbergs and Schnuck stores. Mid-Rivers News Magazine. Anybody who wants it gets it. Anybody who gets it wants it. Subscribe for free today.
Hi, Sean Long with STL Fenceworks. Our company realized another extraordinary year of great business. I thank God for engineering our success and for this great nation and all the blessings it offers those who persevere and work hard. Second, I want to personally thank the great customers who put their faith in our company to make their home and backyard dreams a vision fulfilled. STL Fenceworks doesn't exist without you, and I'm humbled and grateful for your patronage. I also want to thank all my great employees. You're the backbone of STL Fenceworks. You make my vision a reality. I'm truly honored to work amongst such fine people. Finally, as the year ends, I want to remind everyone to take time to enjoy the season. Embrace your family and friends, count the blessings in your life. Reflect on the important things, and don't forget the true meaning of Christmas. When a baby was born, Jesus, our Savior. On behalf of everyone at STL Fenceworks, have a very Merry Christmas and a blessed and prosperous New Year.
Get charged up on the truth. Power Punch with Larry Behrens.
Everyone's talking about the $6 billion Joe Biden sent to Iran just about a month ago. As well they should be. But did you know he has opened up the money flow to Tehran for well over a year? He doesn't want to talk about it, but we will.
Power Punch with Larry Behrens. Saturday afternoons at 4 on News Talk STL.
Get more Power Punch at powerthefuture.com.
When you've got something to say, be heard loud and clear.
If they'll just do what they were voted in to do.
This party needs to get a backbone. They need to get some spine.
Join the conversation. St. Louis's place to talk.
The Democrats and the Republicans can give us all the lip service they want, but what they need to do is take action today.
101.9 and 94.1.
You have to take a stand sometimes.
This is News Talk STL. News, analysis, and opinion.
I'm Susie Moore, and this is More to the Point.
I'm usually one of those who drags my feet about turning on the Christmas music each year, not because I don't enjoy it, but mainly because it starts playing so early. I don't want to get burned out on it by the time Christmas actually arrives. It was different this year by accident. A colleague shared a video of, kid you not, Austin Powers after I remarked on the fact that Argentina's president-elect, Javier Milei, bears more than a passing resemblance to the Mike Myers character. I watched the video in amusement, of course, and then it autoplayed right over into relaxing Christmas music, soft piano renditions of maybe 4 or 5 classics. Rather than closing out of it, I let it play, and continue to play. It's been an open tab on my computer for a couple of weeks now. I don't play it constantly, but I do return to its soothing melodies when I want to just chill out as I write and edit. Another colleague shared an article and audio commentary Thursday regarding Christmas songs, including one in particular he doesn't care for, but it was a 2011 flash mob video he shared that caught my attention. It's actually a T-Mobile ad, but commercialization aside, as I watched it, I unexpectedly found the tears streaming. Not because it was a sad song, quite the opposite, but because it reminded me of times gone by when it seemed easier to get caught up in making a joyful noise unto the Lord. I think this year, more than ever, I'd like for us all to truly revel in that Christmas spirit.
Susie Moore is Deputy Managing Editor for RedState.com. For more to the point and everything Susie Moore, log on to RedState.com. Follow Susie on Twitter at SmoozyQ and keep listening to 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. the latest news.
The ATF and the FBI are investigating the tragic shooting of 3 men, Palestinian descent in Vermont.
Now, in order to extend the pause, Hamas is committed to releasing another 20 women and children.
The news you need to know.
The pause in the military attack on Gaza means Hamas has time to rebuild.
And the place to talk about it.
I'm afraid to think about the next presidential election.
It's the topics that matter to me.
101.9 and 94.1.
Right here.
News Talk STL. This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Hey, this is Todd Showalter. Join me on Saturday at 5 as I try to put some fun back into this dysfunctional radio station. It's The Right Mind Show with me, Todd Showalter, at 5 on Saturday. And, speaking of dysfunctional, let's get back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Hey, guess what, Gabe?
What?
Sam Page's Minions want to fearmonger again.
Oh, so...
It's starting.
So it's a day ending in Y.
Yes, it is starting. I think they're trying to... test the water to see what they can get us to do this time.
Yeah, we predicted this.
Yeah, we did. And unfortunately, we were right.
Yeah.
I don't want to be right on this. I wanted to be wrong, but I don't think that I am. We'll get to that in just a minute. Also, we've got a statewide campaign announcement coming your way at 6:35. That's going to happen live right here on News Talk STL. Okay, I want to give a hat tip to Shannon Robinson, from the Robinson case.
Yeah.
She put it up on Twitter yesterday. The Department of Public Health for St. Louis County issued a press release trying to get us scared because they're seeing an uptick in COVID cases.
Oh, they're seeing an uptick in COVID cases.
Right, because it's the season for all sorts of junk going around.
It's cold and flu season.
Yes.
And COVID is a cold.
Right.
That's how that works.
So I'm looking at this press release that they send out. It says DPH is seeing a rise in COVID-19 cases in St. Louis County. The rolling 7-day average has climbed to 166 new cases per day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you look at the flu, it's probably a lot more than that.
Yeah.
But colds, but they're now going into the percentages. This reflects a 45.1 increase over the last week. You're talking about very small numbers in a county with 900,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, if I have 10 cases and the next day I have 14 cases, that's a 40% increase.
Right.
Okay, let's keep that in perspective here. So the Department of Public Health now officially recommends, guess?
Vaccine?
Yep.
Hey, there it is.
What else?
Masks?
Masks. What else?
Stay at home.
Yes, they do go into that. Also, social distancing.
Then social distancing. Oh, sorry. I forgot about that one.
Yes.
All the stickers on the floors in my local stores have faded, so I don't see them anymore.
And washing hands often, which frankly everybody should be doing anyway.
I was kind of grossed out at the idea that so many people had not been washing their hands regularly before COVID. I was like, they're acting as though it was a revelation. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you should be doing that. Okay, so here's the thing: is they're trying to scare people again.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're testing waters. They didn't say anything about mandates or lockdowns, but here's what they're asking people to do. If you don't feel good, go get a COVID test.
No.
Yeah, the answer is no.
Yeah, do not do that.
Because what you're doing would be giving them the numbers that they would use to fearmonger. So if you don't feel good, you don't feel good. You could have a cold, you could have the flu, could have COVID.
Right.
And then just wait it out a few days like anything else and then go about your business.
Yeah, there is no treatment for the common cold.
Right.
And COVID is a version of the common cold.
Right.
So what you do is you wait it out, and your body kind of catches up.
Yeah, that's exactly where we're at right now. We're not talking about the novel virus anymore.
No, yeah.
Everybody's had it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got some level of immunity.
Mm-hmm.
We've just been through this. So the fact that they're putting out press releases, to me, says we're going to test the waters. We're going to feel just how far we can go. Remember, these are political activists and liars at the St. Louis County Public Health Department. These are not experts.
These are not trustworthy individuals who only have the public health in mind. just because public health is in any of their qualifications or their documents, things like that, doesn't mean that that's their actual concern.
Right. Exactly. All right. We'll talk about that in a little more depth later on here. All right. Attorney General Andrew Bailey ramping up his legal action against Washington University's child butchery clinic.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's what's going on is, of course, WashU has amended their lawsuit against him.
Okay.
Because they're saying you're asking for patient records, and we're not gonna give that.
He's not though, right?
He's asking for records of child abuse that would document child abuse.
Right.
Is what he's looking
Different
for.
things.
Right. Now, I would also be very skeptical of politicians wanting individual medical records.
Yes.
But we don't know that that's what we're dealing with right here. So what he's doing, though, is he's suing Washington University because WashU had been subpoenaed many documents, and they changed their mind and said, we're just not going to give them to you, even though they are valid subpoenas.
Mm-hmm.
So he is suing them to force them to hand over those documents. Washington University clearly has something to hide.
Absolutely.
This so-called pediatric transgender clinic, this child butchery center,
Mm-hmm.
has a lot to hide.
Absolutely.
And when the new law passed in Missouri, which is still really weak, they backed off really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're seeing headlines all over the place nationally that's saying the forthcoming tsunami of lawsuits by so-called detransitioners
Mm-hmm.
is about to wipe out this industry, and that's what it is. It's an industry.
Absolutely.
It is a money-making industry,
Mm-hmm.
and Washington University. There's a reason. My guess is that Washington University and the clinic, they desperately want to keep those files within their building. They do not want people. They do not want the Attorney General. They certainly don't want any of us knowing what was actually being done because of the evil that was actually happening. And as public sentiment, I think, is starting to push back away from this,
Mm-hmm.
they've got a lot of face to say, but they've also got a lot of money that they're going to worry about because these lawsuits, I hope, are going to wipe them out to where this entire clinic is shut down and maybe replaced with a mental health facility to deal with the kids who are dealing with the mental health issues that are bringing them in saying, mutilate my body.
Yeah. It's really disheartening to think of how much rhetoric is behind the push to put vulnerable, mentally and emotionally vulnerable kids through this sort of medical and emotional ringer that they do in order to just extract money from them on a constant basis, turn them into a constant customer for their drugs and their procedures.
Right. All right. So WashU fight. They're dragging their feet,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope the Attorney General nails them to the wall.
Absolutely.
On this. All right. Just ahead, we've got a statewide campaign announcement
Mm-hmm.
coming your way live right here on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL right around 6:35. Oh, hey, Quentin, how's it going?
Hey,
good to see you, man.
This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and newstalkstl.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Unseasonably mild again today, but clouds are taking over. I'm forecasting a high of 63 this afternoon, still about 15 degrees warmer than normal for early December. Breezy this evening, scattered showers developing, a rubble of thunder or two possible overnight and early Saturday morning, but the rain gets out of here quickly tomorrow morning. We briefly climb into the mid-50s Saturday before temperatures plunge Saturday evening into Sunday, down to 31 Sunday morning, a high that afternoon at only 42. What a change. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Facts don't matter. Lies don't matter. You or I lie, we go to jail. She lies.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
It's just part of the business. President lies. It's part of his business. Joe Biden couldn't tell the truth if he could remember it. And then you got Hunter Biden, because he's a drug addict, because he's a gun criminal, because, posts pictures of himself with hookers and crack pipes and all that kind of stuff. Now that makes him somehow wonderful.
Mark McCloskey on fire. Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
Seaver's JCB has the JCB AG loader you need for maximum efficiency and versatility around the farm. JCB's TM series of articulated telescopic loaders are powerful, rugged, and engineered to deliver maximum productivity in all of your material handling applications. Take advantage of special year-end financing offers and tax breaks that may entitle you to additional savings. Stop in to Severs Equipment and check out their full line of industry-leading JCB agriculture equipment or contact them at seversjcb.com.
Hi, it's Mark McCloskey from My Pillows. My Pillow is excited to bring you their biggest bedding sale ever, just in time for Christmas. Get the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98. A set of pillowcases for only $9.98. Rejuvenate your bed with a My Pillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99. They also have blankets in a variety of sizes, colors, and styles. They even have blankets for your pets. Get quilts, down comforters, body pillows, bolster pillows, and so much more, all with the biggest discounts ever. They're also extending their money-back guarantee for Christmas until March 1st, 2024, making them the perfect gift for your friends, your family, and everyone you know. So go to mypillow.com and use promo code ONFIRE or call 800-645-1392, and you'll get huge discounts on all MyPillow bedding products, including the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98. And get all your shopping done now while the quantities last.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
If you're sick of John Kerry and his green crap, be sure you're with us when we talk to Steve Gorham, who's the author of the book Green Breakdown, The Coming Renewable Energy Failure, Thursday at 10:41.
Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL. Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. Mike Ferguson in the morning.
All right, we've got a statewide campaign announcement for you right here in a moment. But don't forget, this could be a topic of conversation tomorrow. I don't know. We've got one of the best weekend talk shows anywhere, not just in St. Louis, and that is Randy Tobler live Saturday morning from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock right here on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL. And I mean live. I mean, it's not a big secret that a lot of these weekend shows are great talk shows, but not a lot of them are live, and Randy is. He's taking your calls, and he's responding to your comments on social media. It is 6:35 right now. Got Gabe Pfeiffer here. Got Quentin here for Stell today. All right, joined now by former Missouri State Senator Bob Onder, obviously a big friend of the program here. And, Bob, I don't think this is going to be an earth-shattering surprise for a lot of people. You've been telling people you've been looking at running for statewide office. You've made it clear that you're interested in it, but now sounds like it's time to actually make the announcement. What's ahead in your future?
Well, thanks for having me on this morning, Mike. This coming week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'm going to be touring the state, making an announcement about the future of my campaign. And of course, I've made no secret on this station that I will be running for lieutenant governor. Mike, Missouri could do so much better than we are doing. We have so much going for us at the crossroads of the nation, at the intersection of the great rivers of our continent, the research universities, industry, agriculture, finance, technology. We have so much going for us, and yet Missouri lags behind not only other red states, not only our neighboring states in the Midwest, but behind the nation as a whole in economic growth and in creating the jobs and opportunities that our children and our grandchildren will need to pursue their dreams. So we are looking forward to the kickoff, and I look forward to speaking to you about my campaign many times in the upcoming months.
Morning, Bob. Gabe here. So what's going to be the major, the big push for your campaign? A lot of candidates tend to have one particular thing that really, really gets their goat. What's the one that's on your plate?
Well, I would say that there's not one thing, but three major areas. One is that, first of all, the Republican majorities with which we have entrusted we Missourians have entrusted for the last couple of decades have really underperformed in a big way. First of all, in the area of safety and security. I mean, why for heaven's sakes would Missouri Republicans vote to allow the communist Chinese to buy 350,000 acres of Missouri farmland? Why would Missouri Republicans not do more to stop the wave of crime and murder in St. Louis, Kansas, and Kansas City? Why wouldn't we do more to push back against the Biden administration and the flood of illegal immigration and fentanyl and human trafficking across our southern border? Secondly, economy. At a time when Missourians are hurting and it costs more and more just for the basic cost of living, why would Missouri Republicans give us the largest tax increase in Missouri history, the massive gas tax, or tax Missourians more to waste it on expansion of very destructive welfare state programs? And finally, why can Missouri Republicans not do more to improve education? Only 30% of our fourth graders are proficient in reading and math, and yet, despite more and more money every year, the education establishment cannot provide a basic education, but they have plenty of money and plenty of time to indoctrinate our kids on racist ideologies like critical race theory, or to pollute the minds of our kids with gender ideology, telling boys they're girls and girls are boys. So I would say those are the big areas: security, the economy, and education.
We are visiting with former state senator Bob Onder, who just announced that he is running for lieutenant governor, kicking off the statewide announcement campaign coming up on Monday. So, Bob, the office of lieutenant governor, let's talk about that for a second.
Yes.
It is what the person who sits in it makes of it. It's limited in scope when it comes to legislation. So if you're elected, how do you use that office to influence the things that the state does and make some of these changes? Because we have had lieutenant governors, I would say Peter Kinder, who actually was very influential as lieutenant governor, and we've had others who have not been, because the office itself is fairly limited. So how do you use the office to reach these goals?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, Mike. The office of lieutenant governor, first of all, it's one heartbeat away from the governor's office, as the resignation of Eric Greitens and the ascent of Mike Parson illustrated. But it is what the office holder makes it in many ways, and I completely agree that Peter Kinder very much used it as a way to drive the narrative and to drive public policy and the actions of the legislature. But the lieutenant governor is president of the Senate. The lieutenant governor has the ability to speak out and work with legislators to accomplish the things we need, the reforms we need to move our state forward. We badly need leadership from the executive branch. And as lieutenant governor, I will work with others in the state Senate and across the building in the state House to get those things done.
Bob, as you mentioned, I think Republican voters are frustrated with the lack of true response from our elected officials in terms of doing red things, as I like to say, in the state.
Yes.
So we're looking for very much solution-oriented attempts here to make changes. But
Yes.
at the same time, there is, I think, a growing, and Mike has mentioned this, a growing big government streak in the Republican Party as we're making attempts to honestly make some really major changes in the way we kind of do things in America and in state. How do you plan to walk the tightrope between trying to do some big red things without going too much big government?
Well, look, I think the big red things we do all involve enhancing individual freedom and liberty and pushing back and rolling back big government. I mean, this session alone, the legislature funded Obamacare Medicaid expansion, funded Biden Care Medicaid expansion, expanded TANF welfare checks, expanded the food stamps. if first of all, if you're in a hole, stop digging. But more than that, the idea that Missouri Republicans would enable and abet the welfare state is just absurd. The idea that we Republicans are supposed to be fiscal conservatives, but in the last 5 years, not the last decade or two, but the last 5 years, our state budget has doubled from $26 billion to $51 billion. And as Ronald Reagan once said that it is a fundamental law of nature that as government expands, individual liberty contracts, and that is exactly what Missouri's so-called Republicans are doing in Jeff City. And honestly, my opponents, my declared opponents, and then a third person who's looking at the race, they have been pushing this stuff every step of the way. So we need better choices. Missouri could do so much better.
Yeah, see, I was about to go there. Also in that race is the Speaker of the House, Dean Plocker, and also a state senator, former colleague of yours, Holly Rader, as well. There's also a Franklin County official in there as well. So what differentiates you, Bob Onder, from the competition in this race? Because in a lieutenant governor's race, this is one of those where, just about anything can happen.
Well, that's right. That's right. I think the big difference is that I am, without question, the conservative in this race. I have led the fight on Second Amendment rights, on the right to life. I have opposed every tax increase. I have led the way on deregulation, on pushing back against the COVID tyrants. And yes, even out of office, I was one of the citizen leaders who ended up pushing back against, as you guys put it this morning, the child mutilation industry. My opponents are big government Republicans. The things I listed, the expansion of the welfare state, prescription drug monitoring. Really, how many of your listeners want the government to have a database snooping into their drugs? How many of your listeners want Missouri to be more like San Francisco with free needle exchange programs for junkies and injection safe spaces and homeless encampments? Who wants to put Obamacare in the Missouri Constitution? My opponents have not only voted for these things, but in many cases sponsored these bills. Basically, I'm running against, I cannot speak to the Franklin County clerk, but my opponents in the legislature are governing like Democrats, and that's got to change. Missouri Republicans could do so much better.
All right, the website, social media people going to be curious now that we actually have a campaign going on, and then let's give that out. And then what's the schedule for the kickoff tour?
Yeah, the schedule is that I will be in St. Louis and Jeff City on Monday. I'll be making my Jeff City announcement at Missouri Right to Life, and they might have something to say at that event as well. And then on Tuesday, we'll be in Springfield, Joplin, and Cape Girardeau, and on then Wednesday, Kirksville and Hannibal. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Look, from John Winthrop to Ronald Reagan, America has been a shining city on the hill, a beacon of liberty. When we need to get government out of the way, we could do so much better in the state of Missouri.
Okay, and website or social media?
Yeah, BobOnderMo.com and Bob Onder Mo on Twitter and Facebook.
All right, former state senator Bob Onder, you heard it here first. He's formally throwing his hat in the ring there, Bob. We'll talk to you again very soon.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
All right, 314-912-1019. Let me know your initial thoughts on that. I've also put up a comment on that on Rumble as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just ahead here, heading into the holidays, that means traveling to see family a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Is that actually a vacation?
Oh.
Somebody asked the question. Let's get into that.
That's a good question, yeah.
Let's get into that here in about right around 6:50 on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's Friday!
This is 1019 and 94.1.
I have to tell you, if this is how they're going to behave, I'm rethinking my position.
News Talk STL.
Francis Chick Powers.
With an inside story behind a Christmas song.
Frosty the Snowman.
From 1950, that's Frosty the Snowman by Mr. Gene Autry and the Cass County Boys. The song was written by Mr. Walter Jack Rollins and Mr. Steve Nelson. Mr. Robbie Morris, one of the founding members of the Friends of Frosty Committee, not only explains now how the song came about, but also how parts of the song have direct connections to Armonk, New York.
Patty Fenwick, now a grandmother herself, is the step-granddaughter of songwriter Jack Rollins. She was the inspiration for the story told in the song Frosty the Snowman. When Patty Fenwick was a little girl living near White Plains, New York, there was an early snowfall. Patty was so excited to go out and play in the snow that her grandpa Rollins wanted to accompany her as well. They were both thrilled to build their first snowman of the year. But the first snowfall didn't last very long. The next day, little Patty woke to find that her snowman had melted away, and she was very upset. Grandpa Rollins wanted to make her feel better, so he said, "I promise you he'll be back again someday." Rollins relayed the story to his songwriting partner Steve Nelson, who had been a frequent visitor to Armonk, New York over the years. Steve Nelson's love for the hamlet is said to have provided inspiration for certain parts of the song. The village square where Frosty runs all around with a broomstick in his hand is the Bedford Road Historic District. And the town's first police chief, John Hergenhan, inspired the traffic cop who hollered, "Stop."
From the Christmas files of the musicalsoundreview.com, I'm Francis Chick Powers.
Frosty the Snowman had to hurry on his...
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com. Like us on Facebook at News Talk STL. Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the Morning.
It was almost Christmas time. There I stood in another line, trying to buy that last gift or two. Not really in the Christmas mood. Standing right in front of me was a little boy waiting anxiously, pacing around like little boys do. And in his hands he held a bottle of booze. And when it came his time to pay, I couldn't believe what I heard him say. "Sir, I want to buy this booze for my mama, please. It's Christmas Eve and this pint is just her size. Could you hurry, sir? Daddy says there's not much wine. You see, she's been drunk for quite a while, and I know this booze would make her smile, and I want her to be passed out and drunk as bejesus tonight.
I want her to be passed out and drunk as bejesus tonight.
I got you both with that one.
That was amazing. Oh my gosh.
You know, it's funny. That was obviously a parody of the Christmas shoes.
Yes,
which was by New Song.
Yes,
which I have made fun of on the air for years.
Yes, because it's a deliberate tearjerker of a
Yes.
song. Like it's written for you to cry, essentially.
And it's It's an awful song. And at one point years ago when I was a Christian music DJ, I ended up on stage with New Song with the guy who wrote and sang that song.
Yeah.
You know, the guy that sang it, I don't know who wrote it.
Right.
And so, like, we got to be like buddies and pals. I'm like, I hope this guy does not know that I've been ripping his song and making fun of it for years. Yeah, it was funny. But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And again, I mean, I grew up in a Baptist house. It wasn't until I was an adult that I realized that I knew that like alcohol was a thing at holidays.
Even a thing.
Family, I had no idea. Truly no idea whatsoever.
And there are some families that don't understand the holidays without booze.
Right. That's so foreign to me.
Right?
So foreign to me.
It's like, wait a minute, where's my drink?
I drank your drink. Okay, so get this. SWNS, which I think is Southwest News Service, they did a story on a survey that said, asked the question, is going to visit your family actually a vacation? Because, I mean, most people have to take vacation days to go to grandma's house or mom and dad's house or the kid's house or whatever. Is that actually a vacation?
For me, yes.
Okay.
Yes, because it is definitely a refreshing thing. My family is awesome. I love every single one of them, and we always have such a great time. It's like, I don't know. It's weird because I'm not typically a people person. I'm usually what do you call it? I'm taxed.
And you have a big family.
I have a really big family. I have 7 siblings, and there's obviously in-laws and then kids, and then some of those kids have kids now. So our get together is basically a family reunion every time we come together for is every other year on Thanksgiving. Basically, is when we do it.
Okay, Q. Visiting family, taking time off to visit family. Is that a vacation? I don't think you're on.
Oh no, yeah, I think so.
Okay,
yeah, just Gabe's point. It depends on your relationship with family.
Yeah. I think that's really where it is.
34% of people, so just over a third, says no way, no how. That is not a vacation.
Wow.
Now I don't know how many said yes, it is versus I don't know, but 71% of people say they probably need a vacation after a trip with family.
Now, what's interesting is, it's true that they need a vacation after their time with their family, but they don't see it as a burden in the same way as I guess 34%.
See, and my family is really small. I mean, like my brother and his wife are coming in for Christmas. My daughter lives here. My mom's coming in. Me and Rachel. That's it.
Right.
That's like pretty much the whole family. Almost.
Yeah, and that was basically one regular day at my house when I was growing up.
So here's the other question though. Then is it okay to not stay with your family when you visit them?
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You can get the hotel room if you need it.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the funny part is only 34% say they're going to stay somewhere else. Because there used to be like a pressure to like stay with the family, but nobody is staying at Rachel and my house.
Right.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Of course, my daughter works for one of the companies owned by Marriott, so she got
discounts for everybody.
Them discounted, hotel rooms. But Chris and Melissa, my brother and his wife, and then my mom, they're getting their own hotel rooms, which I think is good for everybody.
I wonder if that's a function of the amount of little kids that are involved. Because if you're all coming together and you all have little kids, you want those little kids, the cousins, to be together.
Yeah.
But families are so small these days.
Yeah. See, I didn't when I was a kid and we'd go to grandparents' house or something. It was never any question. We were staying at grandma's house.
Right.
Mom and dad got the spare bedroom, and Chris and I were like, one of us was on a sofa, the other was like on a sleeping bag. That's just the way that it was.
It may have been a benefit for grandma.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I think that was for grandma.
Yeah, I think it probably was. All right, let's see here. Just ahead here, Hunter Biden. He has been indicted, and also state lawmakers now really wanting to get in on this game of temp tag and taxes and fines, and now there's a state law being proposed.
Really?
As well.
Okay.
I think they're going overboard just a little bit. But at 7:05, I'd love to get your thoughts on that because, man, politicians are really, really, really fired up over this temp tag stuff, and I think they're overreacting to it. In all seriousness, I think they're overreacting.
Temp tag Tuesday's going statewide, I guess.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Man, I was hoping you were going to play the Survivor, Eye of the Tiger again, because that makes you want to get out of bed, man. Right, Q?
Yeah. Already starting today.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue, and after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates, so there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
Hello, my name is Chad Clayman with Clayman Group, where you can find us online at claymangroup.com, KLAMEN group.com. Do you have a house that you'd like to sell as is and not deal with the market? Maybe you have a tenant not paying the rent or a house in disrepair and you want a simple solution for your sale? We've been in business for over 88 years and we've helped thousands of people sell their house in as-is condition with no middleman involved. Reach out today at claymangroup.com, KLAMEN group.com, and receive an offer today.
To our brave police officers and first responders, we say thank you for risking your lives to protect us. To all the incredible volunteers who've joined hands with the David Dorn Foundation to raise funds for equipment and services, we extend our heartfelt gratitude. We stand strong with our volunteers who give their time, talent, and dedication as a shield of support for those who rush into danger. The David Dorn Foundation gives a big thank you from our heart to yours. Visit dornfoundation.com and join as a volunteer.
I got an email which brought a smile. A woman named Mary wrote me, "We are purchasing a new roof from John Beal based on your recommendation." I thanked her then. I do it again now. Mary, I only endorse clients I believe in, and I've been a spokesman for John Beal for 10 years. It's all about trust. So if, like Mary, you need John Beal, trust me. Call 1-800-NEW-ROOF. 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNVS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Accused of living a lavish lifestyle while failing to pay at least $1.4 million in taxes, presidential son Hunter Biden has been indicted by a federal grand jury in California. There are 3 felony charges, half-dozen misdemeanors. As the UN Security Council urges another Gaza ceasefire, overnight, Israeli forces were busy hitting the southern Gaza town of Rafah twice.
Israel has widened its offensive against Hamas from the devastated north to southern areas already packed with displaced people. Heavy fighting in and around the southern city of Khan Yunis has displaced tens of thousands of people and cut most of Gaza off from deliveries of food, water, and other vital aid. Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
Israel must do everything it can to protect civilians, to ensure that humanitarian assistance flows into Gaza.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has used a rarely exercised power to warn the Security Council of an impending humanitarian catastrophe and urged members to demand a ceasefire. I'm Norman Hall.
American and Iraqi officials say a rocket attack on Baghdad's Green Zone, it's a home of the U.S. Embassy in the Iraqi capital, caused some minor damage but no casualties.
An Iraqi security official says 14 Katyusha rockets were fired on Friday, of which some struck near one of the embassy's gates, while others fell in the river. A U.S. military official says rockets hit the vicinity of Union 3 that houses offices of the U.S.-led coalition.
Correspondent Charles De La Desma. Accused of firing shots outside of a synagogue while shouting "Free Palestine," man's been arrested in Albany, New York. It happened right at the start of Hanukkah. Watching Wall Street, Dow futures down 47 points. NASDAQ futures off 47 as well. S&P futures 6 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also a time you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. But what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the member satisfaction rate compared to health insurance. Double. MediShare is a proven thing, too. For over 30 years, it's a Christian community of more than 400,000 members. And here's the thing, too. If you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, you'll get another $150 savings. So I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And remember, the deadline is December 15th. So call now and you'll save even more. Here's the number. 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Unseasonably mild again today, but clouds are taking over. I'm forecasting a high of 63 this afternoon, still about 15 degrees warmer than normal for early December. Breezy this evening, scattered showers developing, a rubble of thunder or two possible overnight and early Saturday morning, but the rain gets out of here quickly tomorrow morning. We briefly climb into the mid-50s Saturday before temperatures plunge Saturday evening into Sunday, down to 31 Sunday morning, a high that afternoon at only 42. What a change. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Ackerman Toyota has the 2024 models. You're going to be impressed. Check them out in person at Ackerman Toyota, Hampton and Interstate 44. In fact, you've got to see the 2024 Toyota Sequoia. Very impressive. This is the time to buy and get top dollar for your vehicle. Looking for pre-owned? Ackerman Toyota can also help you. Ackerman Toyota at Hampton and 44. AckermanToyota.com. Ackerman Toyota for life.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less. 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com. Mike Ferguson.
You play ball like a girl!
Gabe Pfeiffer.
I triple dog dare you!
Get up, can't you hear the alarm?
Get up, St. Louis.
So it's time to get out of bed. Pour yourself the greatest cup of Kofifi the world has ever seen. Rise up with one voice, drain the swamp, and take back our country. Today's the day we're going to do it, and it's time to do it right now, believe me.
Mike Ferguson in the Morning on News Talk STL.
Okay, now state lawmakers in Missouri are getting into the issue of expired temp tags because something must be done. Hang on, I got to pound the.
You got to pound the desk properly.
Something must be done.
Yes.
There. Okay. We'll get to that here in just a second. I think the reaction is an overreaction by government at all levels here. I mean, and the fact that they just keep showing up in the headlines over and over and over again. And I'm just thinking, you guys are trying to pin this to like violent crime and stuff. There's a couple days ago in one of the St. Louis County cities, I saw another thing where they tried to tow a guy's vehicle again.
Off his
property because he had expired tags there. So somebody is still doing that. By the way, Hunter Biden indicted again. We can talk about that at 7:20. I've got the details for you on this one.
Get him.
Okay, yeah.
that's my reaction every time I hear of a new indictment for Biden or Hunter Biden.
Yeah,
and hoping for Joe. I'm like, get him. Just silently in my head.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about that 720.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people saying that. All right. So when you got the pre-filing of the bills that was started last Friday, so 1 week ago today, one of them is a bill that would allow police to crack down harder on Missouri drivers with expired temp tags.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've already got your tags and you forget to go renew the sticker, I don't think that it affects that. It's the actual temp tags.
Okay.
And you may say, well, what's the difference? Oh, there's a difference. I'll tell you what it is here in just a couple of minutes. So the bill was sponsored by State Representative Brad Pollitt. And he says that the bill would allow law enforcement to stop, inspect, or detain a person solely to determine whether a temporary permit is current. Okay, they can pull you over now if your temp tag's expired.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how is that new?
Yeah, so you're reinforcing giving the cops a little more reinforcement as far as their ability to just like pull you over because maybe.
I guess. I mean,
so I don't know what's different here, but here's the difference: is if the tag is expired, the police can seize the tag, which in many parts of the state they can do that now.
I thought that was the law.
Yeah, so literally you're driving around with
No
nothing
tag.
on your car, and there would be a $200 fine
immediately.
Right, for driving on the violation. Okay, so KMOV, their statewide reporter, talked to Representative Pollitt about this, and here's one of the reasons he gave for this.
That temporary tag is on there and it's expired. That means that individual hasn't paid their sales tax, most likely maybe driving without insurance.
Okay, so
okay.
that's two parts there. He hasn't paid the sales tax. That's what this is all about. The idea, they say, well, he probably doesn't have insurance. That's crap.
Yeah, you're just making up stuff.
Yeah, you're just making up stuff. I've bought 2 cars from a dealership over the past few years. They would not let me finish the sale unless I showed them the insurance, as in we had to call the insurance agent and get them to send over the coverage of that car before they were able to let me take the car off the lot. So the idea that, well, if the temp tag's expired, then he's probably driving without it. No,
Not at all.
No, that's crap.
The entities that give out temp tags also check for insurance.
Right.
Like you said, I mean, that's not anything that happens, I don't think, on a regular basis. If you're doing a private sale, you're not getting a temp tag.
No, you're not. No, you can swap out your tags on it, or you can keep the tags that's on the car. You only get a tag from a dealer, from a used car dealer or a new car dealer.
And a dealer's not going to go in and not check your insurance and render themselves liable. I think that's regulation, isn't it?
I think that's required, unless you just pay in cash up front.
In which case, why aren't you paying your sales tax? You got cash to buy a vehicle.
Well, here's the thing also, is that, remember, there's a new law in Missouri. Now, it won't fully take effect until 2025, but you will pay your sales taxes at the time of purchase of the car.
Which I think is when it should have been.
And that's what Illinois does. That's what a lot of other states do.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are going to make the stupid mistake of financing the sales tax.
Yeah.
Which means you're going to pay interest on it for 5 years or whatever your loan is. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
If you don't have the money for the sales tax,
you don't have money for
you don't
that
have the
car.
money for the car.
For that car.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk about what we're really talking about here, okay? What we're talking about is the delinquent sales taxes.
Yes, they want the money.
They want this thing's still bugging me. Yeah, they want the money. That's really what this is all about. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and the main thing is I understand the constend. I guess that's part of the thing. As a rule follower, generally speaking. I tend not to follow immoral rules, but silly rules like these, render unto Caesar. So I'm rendering unto Caesar. I'm giving the money he's asking for, even though he's not quite fulfilling his part of the bargain. But I do the thing. So then I look at other people who've got these temp tags. I'm like, dang it. He's like, why are you getting away with this? And I'm sitting. Well, it's the same feeling you got as a kid when you're following the rules and there's some other kid, breaking the rules and nobody's, going to grab me. You're like, somebody get that kid.
It's why we get mad when you see signs that warn you that the lane is going to close 2 miles from right now. Then another one that's going to close 1 mile from right now. Then you see the pylons, and you've gotten over, and then you see the dude who goes on the shoulder and cuts in front of you. It's why we don't like that guy. Okay?
Right, yeah.
So here's the deal, though, is that the state of Missouri government has hundreds of millions of dollars that they don't even know what to do with right now.
They literally hired a firm to help them come up with ideas to spend money.
Right. This is 100% about the money. That's all that it is. And the Auto Dealers Association, by their estimate, they say there's probably $60 million that's delinquent in sales taxes.
Right.
Well, I don't know how much there is probably delinquent in income taxes or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, probably similar numbers, if not more. But it's all about the money. And remember, when you buy a car, it doesn't matter where you buy it. The city you live in is what gets some of that sales tax.
Right.
The state gets some. But like if you live in Florissant,
Mhm.
and if you go to St. Peter's to buy a car, Florissant is
they're
who
getting
gets the sales tax.
They're getting my money.
St.
yeah.
Peter's doesn't get it.
Right.
St. Florissant does, and the state of Missouri does, and
Mhm.
probably is the county as well. And so when they're cracking down on this, it has nothing to do with public safety. It has nothing to do with insurance. It has to do with we want the money.
Yeah.
Is what it is. Now, listen, if you don't pay your sales tax and it's expired, you're going to end up with late fees and fines.
Yes.
So you've got an incentive to do it with the 30 days or whatever it is that you get. And every cop friend that I've got over the years, they're like, I said, what's your like personal rule on this?
Mhm.
They say if it's within a week, we don't bother anybody.
Sure, yeah.
They said if you're getting into 3-4 weeks, they're like, he goes, that's a reason we can pull you over. They're like,
Sure.
we can justify that.
I've seen like a year and a half.
Oh, I've seen much longer
Yeah,
than that.
I've seen 2-3 years.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have.
man.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
It's
bad.
part of our culture here. This is part of our way of
It
life.
is.
This is just how we roll here.
Yeah, exactly. Provel cheese, gooey butter cake, and expired temp
Yes.
tax.
I mean, this is how it goes here. I mean, they're
cards.
really attacking our way of life.
Part of our culture, man.
Right.
It's cultural
St.
enrichment.
Louis way.
The
I
St. Louis
know.
way. Now, what's funny though is that eventually though people are going to have to pay those taxes. You're not going to be able to get into your next car until that that tax is paid. And with this new law that says you have to pay sales tax up front, if you're looking at buying a car in 2025 when that other law is in effect and you haven't paid your sales tax on the car you're currently buying, you're going to have to double dip on your taxes to get into a new vehicle. You're just screwing yourself.
And the problem's going to fade out and fade away.
Now, yeah, that's
because
true.
of the new law.
Because of the new law, yes.
It's
exactly.
going to go away.
Yeah, because people eventually have to get out of the cars they're currently in.
Yeah.
They're going to pay their taxes, and they're going to get into a new vehicle that they will pay that tax.
They'll
upfront.
pay it at the time.
Yeah.
So this is a new law, and I'll be really honest, I don't think we need more laws that encourage or demand cops have more encounters where they're pulling people over for something that's nonviolent.
Yeah.
Now, if you get pulled over because your tag's expired, hey, that's on you.
That's on you.
That's totally on you.
Mhm.
But I don't know that in this day and age that we need to be focusing on, okay, guys, here's why we want you to pull more people over.
Yeah, I think it's a wrong way to go when you're looking more towards enhancing the enforcement mechanism rather than restructuring the system so that that enforcement is basically done by individual citizens.
Right.
That new law for 2025, that is the solution to this problem.
Right. Well, and then in St. Charles County, remember, they set up like a snitch line and a snitch email.
They sure
if
did.
If you see a temp tag that's expired, take a picture of it and send it to us.
Right.
And then we'll send somebody like to their house or send them a notice, but we'll go try to collect directly on that. And I'm like, that's just gross.
Yeah,
that's gross.
Now-
But boy, they got some people to pay up.
Now, look, I will say, if they offered a bounty, I might take some pictures because I'm a capitalist.
There you go.
That's the thing. Hey, if you give me $50, I can make $300 tomorrow.
Oh,
I'm a professional photographer for the city of St. Louis.
Oh man.
That's a side gig, isn't it?
Yes.
Like you drive Uber and you take pictures of temp tags.
There you go.
And you're door dashing
You're
too.
door dashing too.
It's a side hustle, man.
Yeah,
Come on,
exactly.
You can do that. All right, 314-912-1019. I think it's an overreaction. I'm not saying drive around for years with temp tags. That's just a dumb idea to start with. I mean, when I bought the car I've got now, like the next week, I went down to play in a baseball tournament in Alabama.
Mhm.
And I didn't even like driving on a temp tag, even though I had weeks left on the temp tag. I was like, I don't know if I want to cross state lines.
Yeah, but
with a temp tag, even though it was a valid temp tag, I didn't have any problems. But I'm like, I just want to get rid of the temp tag as soon as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've got I'm good until 2025.
Yeah.
You got to get on top of those things.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to put it on your calendar.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put it in your alarm clock.
Yeah, you need multiple alarms.
I see where
in order to make sure that you're on time with this.
Exactly.
This is
For those who don't know, haven't picked up, Q overslept. He's scrambling, and he's got you got an hour and 45 minutes of torture left.
Yep.
All right.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 941, 991 HD3 and newstalkstl.com. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Will Donald Trump survive the leftist lawfare? Tom Jipping of Heritage at 425 to discuss Bidenflation. Oh my. Dr. Aaron Hedlund at 525.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Hey, Tim Jones here with Tony Colombo for our friends Rodney and Jen Wallner at the Wallner Home Selling Team. If you're thinking about taking advantage of the market and selling your home, don't wait. Call the Wallners now. Put St. Louis's #1 home selling team to work for you. Rodney and Jen have the experience and work ethic that sets them apart from all the rest. That's why they sell 15 times more homes per year than your typical realtor and have so many qualified buyers right now, they'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. The results, Tony, speak for themselves.
That's right, Tim. In fact, I recently benefited from those results personally. My wife and I couldn't be happier with the job the Wallners did for us, selling our old home in less than 2 days for significantly more than we were asking for and finding us the perfect new home. Like so many others, we loved working with Rodney and Jen, the Wallner Home Selling Team with Berkshire Hathaway. So if you're thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call the Wallners now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD.
The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter.
Hi, it's Todd Showalter from The Right Mind Show, where we put the fun in our dysfunctional world. And there's nothing more dysfunctional than the holidays. Crowded malls, drunk relatives, and of course, the holiday fruitcake, who I refer to as my Uncle Bob. So join me and my buddy Joey B this Saturday, won't you? Hey, it's better than kissing Grandma under the mistletoe.
The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. Saturday evenings at 5 on News Talk STL. Brought to you this holiday by LiberalJoke.com.
The Herzog Foundation is the vision of its founder, Stanley Herzog, and it exists to promote and accelerate the development of quality Christ-centered K-12 education.
Hi, this is Daryl Jones, president of the Herzog Foundation. We have an exciting new training opportunity available for public school and Christian school teachers. The Herzog Foundation Institute has partnered with the Bill of Rights Institute to offer 4 training events in 4 Missouri cities this year. These day-long professional development opportunities are best suited for middle and high school civics, government, U.S. history, and social studies teachers. Middle and high school teachers have a unique opportunity to strengthen civic knowledge and values for the next generation. We want to help teachers seize this opportunity.
Visit herzogfoundation.com/events to learn more and register for a Bill of Rights Institute training event near you. herzogfoundation.com/events. herzogfoundation.com/events.
I really like all the things you're saying.
News, analysis, opinion.
Thank you very, very much.
News Talk STL.
Hey, this is Larry Connors. Make sure you're listening later today at 6 o'clock on News Talk STL for my show, Larry Connors USA. Now, back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
All right, Hunter Biden could face up to 17 years in prison.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, now don't get your hopes up. He's probably not going to spend a single day in prison, but he is facing new criminal charges, okay? Yep. All right, it is 7:21. I'm Mike. That's Gabe. Got Quentin in for Stell today. Okay, it's still ahead here. You know, for the Biden administration, keeping our borders open may not be enough. We've got to open more borders than just ours.
Really?
Yeah, I'll explain. 7:35. We've got our friends from the Heritage Foundation.
Oh, gosh.
Going to bring us the update on that.
Freaking Biden.
Okay. Okay, so here's what's going on. Hunter Biden now faces 9 charges in California in an indictment handed down yesterday. It had been yesterday evening, our time here. So 3 felonies, 6 misdemeanors over tax charges.
Okay, so these are all tax related.
These are all tax related. So between 2016 and 2019, he had over $1 million, almost $1.5 million of tax liability that was not paid.
Yeah, well, okay, so just the tax liability itself is over
Right.
$1 million.
Oh, almost 1.4 million.
$1.4
Yeah.
million. Wow.
Right. So the special counsel is
Like
David
to make
Weiss.
$1.4 million.
Really?
It's like-
So, well, his income was like $7 million.
Yeah.
Over those years.
Mhm.
And so special counsel David Weiss said that Hunter Biden, I'm quoting David Weiss now, spent millions of dollars on an extravagant lifestyle rather than paying his tax bills. The charges are centered on that $1.4 million Hunter Biden owed between 2016 and 2019. And he is basically accused of saying, okay, this was your tax bill.
Mhm.
It's not like you didn't have access to accountants,
Right.
Or H&R Block or whatever.
Or
during this
just
time.
have the regular notion
Right.
that, oh, I made a lot of money, I probably owe a lot of taxes, like a normal
Yeah.
person would have.
Yeah, exactly. And so essentially, among the taxes, like I said, 3 felonies, 6 misdemeanors on this. They're pointing out that he paid strippers, he bought drugs, he had hookers. He was living the high life of somebody who has the name of the former vice president.
Had that illegally
at that
purchased
time.
gun also.
Right. No, yeah. Let's not be confused. This is in addition to the outstanding federal gun charges
Mhm.
that he faces in Delaware as well.
Mhm.
And so, of course, let's not kid ourselves. This is political as well.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be.
Right. And of course, there are some Democrats who are saying if his name weren't Biden, these charges would never be brought because the taxes were paid off by a third party. Somebody paid them on his behalf.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
Huh.
So I'm looking at this saying, wait a minute. If his name weren't Biden, these charges wouldn't have been brought. If his name weren't Biden,
Mhm.
he'd be in jail.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, look, Wesley Snipes went to jail for
Yeah.
for tax evasion, okay?
They sent Blade to jail. man.
Exactly. It's like you
And
did-
every Blade after Wesley Snipes sucks.
It
Just
did.
saying.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But the idea that, well, this is just political. You're going after Hunter Biden to get to Joe Biden. Well, some of that is true.
Well,
That
absolutely.
Republicans are absolutely doing that because
Well, sure.
you're following the money. This is where it leads. And I think they are trying to break Hunter Biden in order to get to Joe. So that's true.
Well,
At the same time.
Yeah. Well, I think he's the portal to Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, and because that's really the thing. If you think about it, and you mentioned he made $7 million or something like that,
7 something,
in this period of time that we're talking about, and we owing $1 million in taxes, over $1 million in taxes. Why did he make so much money? What exactly did he do? That was like, did he sell a book? Did he was he a crack lawyer and he was representing some high powered people?
That was
He was
a
a
pun.
great artist.
That was a pun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a little pun.
You hear what he
Yeah,
did?
he's a great. Yeah,
He was a crack
lawyer.
Yeah.
No, and he was a great artist, I guess.
Great artist.
Yeah, he put out some real good music that sold,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or maybe he had a really, really successful podcast,
Yeah.
right? And he made $1 million on YouTube, right? No. He worked in various industries in
Right.
China and Ukraine,
Yes.
on things that he has no expertise on, sitting on various boards. It's like, okay, come on, guys, come on.
Yep. The income was from a lot of it from Burisma in Ukraine.
Yep.
And the Chinese equity firm. And he did have a position at a law firm as well, which I'm sure he did a lot of law work.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, really.
Find some
and-
cases with his name on it where he's not the plaintiff.
Right. So he did finally file taxes, tax return in 2020. By the way, some of the charges have to do with filing false tax returns.
Okay.
As well.
See, that's
So-
different also.
Yeah, he finally filed taxes in 2020, and of course that was part of a push over the child support thing with the woman he knocked up in Arkansas.
Right.
Because that was the one that he didn't want any association with the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden didn't even want to acknowledge the grandkid, and
Mhm.
eventually they had to acknowledge that they have a biological grandkid out there who is never going to be treated like a member of the family of the Bidens because that child is an embarrassment. So that kid is basically set up for a life of frustration.
Mhm.
It's like because your dad is the drug addict and your
Mhm.
mom is, I don't know what she was all about. I mean, let's be honest. It wasn't even like Hunter Biden was on Tinder or was on whatever the other.
This wasn't a relationship.
Yeah, this wasn't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what other dating apps are out there anymore here, but it wasn't like they met because friends introduced him over coffee.
Right,
Okay,
yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't think mom met him at a socialite event because of her high standing in society. So this kid's screwed.
There
I
were
feel-
many singles involved in that meeting.
Yeah, I feel really bad for that kid actually
Yeah.
because it's
Well,
not
sure,
fair.
yeah.
Because part of the deal he tried to negotiate with the baby mama
Mhm.
was that she not name the kid Biden.
Yeah, I think that was actually part of the settlement.
Yeah,
that,
it was.
That, the kid cannot have any name association with Biden.
Guess what that
my
kid's going to
goodness.
do as soon as he or she is 18?
Oh, they're gonna sue or something.
They are going to. I don't know. Is it a boy or girl? I don't know.
I don't know. I never got that.
But that kid, as soon as they're 18, they're like, name change. I'm going to the court, filing the paperwork.
Right,
I'm a
I
Biden.
I can do it myself.
Yep.
I am not beholden to this agreement,
right,
so I can do it
exactly.
myself.
So here's the thing: is
To
like
write a book.
every article shows, and I on this one, when there's something that criticizes the Bidens, I always look for center left or left media.
Yeah, see
you
what
know,
they're saying.
to get what they're saying. And I grabbed the article from The Hill
Right.
on this, which is at best a center left Washington D.C. media outlet. Now they generally do a reasonable job, but you can see their framing on this. And they pointed out, they said that he, if convicted, faces up to 17 years in prison.
Yeah, it won't happen.
That ain't happening.
Nah, not
Okay.
at all. Not
and,
even close.
And then of course they have the quotes of like the Democrats who are like, this is all about Joe Biden. It's not about Hunter Biden.
Political persecution.
It's all exactly. Well, to some degree that's true.
I guess.
But you know what? If you're going after somebody because you believe that they've committed crimes, although yes, some of this is political, you think they've done something wrong, you go get the information wherever you can, and you put the pressure on whatever witnesses that you can find.
Yeah.
So is there going to be a political backlash because of this? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the American public is going to be really, really sympathetic because remember, the Democrats, when this first came and he was indicted and, Republicans were going after Biden, the talking point, you heard it from Claire McCaskill and you heard it from like Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. What they were saying was, well, Joe Biden's guilty of loving his son.
Yeah,
You remember that?
That was the major tactic they were using as his defense. It's like they're just trying to go after a good dad.
Right.
It's just like that's all. It's like he just loves his son. And he wants to get him help, and he's trying to stay involved in his life.
Yep.
Well, or
just another possibility.
Just another possibility. His son was selling access to a major figure in American politics, and American policy was on the sales block
and possibly compromised right now.
Yeah,
as well. And of course, when then the pictures, the art showed up of him naked with Russian hookers, with the cigarette dangling out, holding the guns, and you see the drugs. Suddenly, the sympathy went away.
Yeah,
with the American, so they're not going to, I think, be able to play they're trying to help their family member through a tough time.
Now, I did see, though, people are still trying to do this whole, he had a lot of American families are going through this where they're dealing with a child who's stuck on a substance abuse, and they're going through it, but they turned his life around. They're trying to make it an underdog story. Got get the little Rocky music going on, speaking Eye of the Tiger.
Right.
Get a little Rocky music going on under the speech there. It's like, oh, well, Hunter Biden pulled himself up by isn't this the American dream? And I'm pretty sure that's the
They're
framing
trying to
gonna go
argue
with.
that, he just fell apart when his brother died.
Yes, they're
Because his
going with
brother had,
that
brain cancer.
as the entry into the addiction,
Right.
and then of course his redemption afterwards is a big up.
But the argument saying if his name weren't Biden, these charges would never be brought is complete crap.
Absolutely.
If his name weren't Biden, like I said, if his name weren't Biden, he'd be in jail already.
Absolutely.
That's how it works.
We give you news, analysis, opinion, and more. Only on News Talk STL. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Unseasonably mild again today, but clouds are taking over. I'm forecasting a high of 63 this afternoon, still about 15 degrees warmer than normal for early December. Breezy this evening, scattered showers developing, a rubble of thunder or two possible overnight and early Saturday morning, but the rain gets out of here quickly tomorrow morning. We briefly climb into the mid-50s Saturday before temperatures plunge Saturday evening into Sunday, down to 31 Sunday morning, a high that afternoon at only 42. What a change. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This Saturday night at 10 on Stories of New Americans.
I'm joined by Dr. Khaled Jumian, who is originally from Jordan.
Then I went to Joplin, Missouri. I know you're going to ask about the tornado. I was in the hospital which being destroyed by the tornado.
Were you really?
There was two hospitals across, one destroyed, one is not, but we opened tents and we treated patients in tents.
Stories of New Americans. Saturday nights at 10 on News Talk STL.
This is Larry Connor's commentary on News Talk STL.
Our Jewish friends are celebrating Hanukkah, but this year is much different than all the years since Hitler's final solution. The Hamas October 7 attack was not just on the state of Israel, but on Jews all across the world. and has made many believe that it is acceptable, even encouraged, to be anti-Semitic. And the pathetic responses from the presidents of MIT, University of Pennsylvania, and Harvard just add fuel to that fire. They were being asked by Congresswoman Stefanik, would it be a violation of your code of conduct if a student called for the genocide of Jews? The answer from each of these learned professors, well, it depends on the context. That is such a weak and, as I said, pathetic answer. What does it mean? Well, they're saying if you just call for it but you don't act on it, there's nothing we can do about it. So I can go around your university campus and call for the execution of LGBTQ members, persons of another race, another gender, and that would be acceptable unless they acted on it? You see how stupid that sounds?
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
It's been a very busy year for Wellington Environmental. Tom and his staff had traveled all over making sure that minor issues don't become major disasters. Then there are the times Wellington is called in for emergencies, but nothing Wellington hasn't seen before. They have certified inspectors, chemists, scientists, environmental planners, and that's just some of their expertise. That is why the St. Louis Business Journal gave Wellington such a high ranking. So what will 2024 bring? No one knows, but if you take time to visit the Wellington Environmental Facebook, you're going to see things that might explain health issues at your home or business, affecting you, your family, clients. Wellington Environmental Facebook. Tom Wellington and the entire staff wish you a blessed 2024. Your world, cleaner, better, safer. So, as always, be well with Wellington.
This is Christina Strait with Strait Realty reminding you why pay more than 4. In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many market's ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Strait, owner of Strait Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than 4?
Strait Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Planning a move? I encourage you to call McGuire Moving. And they not only do moving, they can provide you portable storage. They'll bring a storage container to you. You fill it at your time and convenience. They'll pick it up, move it where you want it. Here's their phone number, 314-241-0600, 241-0600. Website, McGuireMoving.com, McGuireMoving.com, locally owned.
Conservative talk for St. Louis.
It's your patriotic right and duty. The government needs to step up and do its job.
This is News Talk STL.
It's well-balanced conversation.
News, analysis, opinion. Get up, St. Louis. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Does the Biden administration want a series of borders open or just ours?
He wants the whole world open.
Yeah, well, okay, kind of. I mean, that seems like a weird question to ask, and because it is, but it could be weirder when we get the answer to it. All right, I'm Mike Ferguson. We got Gabe here. We got Stell here. It is 7:36. Hey, don't forget News Talk STL.
I look like Stell now?
Did I say Stell? I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Quentin's in for Stell today.
Yeah, in for
Sorry.
that's what you were.
All right, another cup of coffee for me in the next break here. News Talk STL's book club, great place to find not just great books, but good gifts as well. NewsTalkSTL.com. Just go to News and More, and you'll get a drop-down menu, and you'll find the book club. And pretty much anybody who's been on the station and has a book, we've added their book. So you can, if you had some conversations that you enjoyed or found thought-provoking, you can find the books to go along with that, and there's a lot of really good stuff there as well. Okay, Laura Reese from the Heritage Foundation joins us right now. And Laura, a lot of criticism over the Biden administration and the congressional Democrats push to keep our southern border open. But when you were looking at this, I saw, the op-ed in FoxNews.com and everything. You're pointing out that the Biden administration isn't just apparently satisfied with our southern border being porous as well. You're talking about borders south of us. Make sense of that for me.
Yeah, so my colleagues had spoken with Guatemalan officials, including Guatemalan President Giammattei, and they explained that they proposed to Secretary Mayorkas and Secretary Blinken of Homeland Security and our State Department. He said, look, your border with Mexico is very long. My southern border with El Salvador and Honduras is very short. Help me secure it, and we can stop this flow of illegal immigration. And initially, the Biden administration said they'd take it under consideration, but then they came back and said, sorry, we don't have the resources. Meanwhile, then, the Biden administration has sought and spent, and seeking more, billions of dollars to open these safe mobility offices in Guatemala and throughout Central America to receive and process even more illegal aliens. So President Giammattei of Guatemala said, look, the administration just wants to keep all these borders throughout Central America open and keep the flow going.
Morning, Laura. Gabe Pfeiffer here. So just help me understand. You said mobility offices. What are these?
They're basically, it's similar to the soft-sided large tents that the Biden administration has built in the U.S. These are just other temporary shelters or processing centers that the State Department, working with the UN, the International Organization of Migration, have set up throughout Central America to receive everyone who's coming from all over the world, and either helping them use the CBP Mobile One app to schedule their illegal immigration into a port of entry in the U.S., to apply for asylum, etc.
Okay, wait.
I was going to say, please follow up on that.
It's like schedule their illegal immigration. Yeah. Like, I mean, wow. I get, going to a port of entry if you are an asylum seeker, like a true asylum seeker. They go to an embassy in their the closest foreign country they could get to. Essentially, that's how it used to go. And they would say, "Hey, I'm in danger in my home country. I would like to enter your country." I understand that. Now, this whole thing sounds very, very weird. Please go with a little more. Schedule their illegal immigration. I'm having trouble.
Yes. So a year ago in December, the numbers got so high of illegal crossers between the ports of entry that Secretary Mayorkas came out in January of this year and said, look, stop crossing illegally between the ports. Start using the CBP Mobile One application, make an appointment, go to a port of entry, and we will then parole you into the U.S. Now, immigration parole it's a temporary way to have someone come into the U.S. if they don't have a visa. Congress intended it to be extremely rare for someone who doesn't have time to go get a visa, such as you need emergency surgery or you're about to testify in a criminal case. It was not intended to be given out to tens of thousands of people a month like Mayorkas is doing. But that's what he's been doing with this CBP Mobile One app. So they are still inadmissible. They don't have a visa, and it's a shell game. So then Mayorkas, for a few months, got to say, look, the numbers between the ports have dropped. But really, he didn't want you looking at the numbers that have increased at the ports of entry.
I'm honestly shocked.
Yeah.
Like at this is absolutely news to me. I didn't know it was this bad. The facilitation of illegal immigration that our government is doing.
Yeah, I mean that's almost like, listen, if you're going to rob my house, I need you to do it convenently between the hours of 1 and 3 o'clock. Can you please set an appointment?
Yeah, I'll just write you a check here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Hey, Laura. Yeah, Laura, real quick here. I mean, is this creating any confusion as to whether or not the people who are crossing the border without any documentation, as to whether or not this makes them legal? Because in the St. Louis region, there's an effort to literally recruit people people who are in the country illegally into St. Louis from other so-called sanctuary cities. One of the arguments they're being made is, well, no, they come in, under this program that makes them legal when in fact they are, to use the left's term, undocumented or they're in the country illegally. So is this adding confusion as to who's actually in the country legally or not?
Definitely, and that's intentional. The Biden administration has completely blurred the line between legal and illegal immigration. And this parole program that I just talked about, Mayorkas keeps calling it a quote-unquote lawful pathway. It's not lawful. He doesn't have the constitutional authority to grant really a de facto visa program to hundreds of thousands of people every year. Only Congress can do that. And they're still inadmissible. So it doesn't make the aliens. But by throwing around the term lawful pathway and repeating it, then, yes, people get confused and think, oh, okay, these people, they can be here. This is okay.
Okay, what kind of numbers are we talking about? I mean, how much is this being used? Because what I'm hearing you say is that the Biden administration is essentially coordinating with nations, not all of whom really like us that much, to facilitate a smoother flow of illegal immigrants into the country.
That's exactly right. So they've created over a dozen different types of parole programs. Just one of them is for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. And for those nationalities, we bring in $30,000 a month.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. You're blowing my mind here, Laura. Okay, what can we do? This is outrageous, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners are kind of as up in arms about this information as I am, and it feels as though our representatives are maybe attempting very shoddily to do something about this, but there's got to be more. What can we do?
Yeah, so the House in Congress passed a fantastic Secure the Border Act back in May, and it shuts down this parole nonsense. It takes a lot of the asylum abuse. It prevents illegal immigration in the first place. It prevents so many unaccompanied alien children coming here, but also it deauthorized funding for the NGOs or the non-governmental organizations that carry all this out for the Biden administration. It was a fantastic bill. Senate needs to pass it. And right now, the White House is demanding another $13.6 billion for quote-unquote border security attached to more money for Ukraine and money for Israel. And fortunately, the Senate, the first time, rejected the first attempt at giving the Biden administration more money, because more money is just going to accelerate what we've been living with for the past 3 years. And instead, we need real policy changes like that are in the Secure the Border Act to prevent illegal immigration. So the Senate cannot fall for the trap of do-something-isms and just change a few things here or there. They actually need to pass measures that would secure the border, not just give it lip service.
Yeah. All right, Laura Reese from the Heritage Foundation. Where do we find your reports and commentary and research on this, and, of course, with your colleagues as well, and any social media contact information for you?
Heritage.org and on Twitter or X at LORA_RIEF.
All right, Laura, thanks so much for the update. I'm kind of like Gabe. I'm listening to this going, how does this pass even the common sense test?
Yeah.
That I mean, at some point, even the most pro-illegal immigrant politician is going to go, they're not going to buy that. That's too crazy.
Yeah, seriously.
But apparently they are. Man. All right, Laura Reese, once again from the Heritage Foundation. All right, it is 7:46, which means you know what's coming up at 7:50 here.
Not today, Satan.
Right here on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STLQ. I'm so glad you got here. You're going to want to hear this, man.
This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and newstalkstl.com.
I represent science.
Getting a new floor for your home can be intimidating and a little scary. But that's not the case when you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. Katie here, and my mom and dad used Michael's, and they had a great experience. They've been a locally owned and operated family business for more than 30 years. You want variety? Michaels has carpet, hardwood, laminate, ceramic tile, luxury vinyl, natural stone, and many other options. Shop in-store at one of their 3 locations in Creve Coeur, Dardine Prairie, or St. Peters. Check out everything that Michaels has to offer at igotfloored.com.
Are you looking for an awesome space to have an incredible event this season, this holiday season, or just for any reason whatsoever? Your one-stop shop is View 17. That's VUE17.com, VUE17.com. Ultra modern media conference and event center. You can have just about any event you can dream up there. It's on the 17th floor in the heart of the county of St. Louis. Check them out today. You will be impressed, and so will your guests. VUE17.com, View17.com.
Steph's Pizza is on the move to Lake St. Louis. That's right, you can now get the legendary Steph's Pizza and Pasta in Lake St. Louis, 111 Pond Fort Trail. Steph's Pizza, where Mondays you get a large pizza for the price of a small, and it just got more convenient for pickup or delivery in Lake St. Louis. Steph's Pizza in the Chesterfield Valley on Long Road, in St. Peters on Jungerman, and now in Lake St. Louis at 111 Pond Fort Trail. Check them out at Steph'sPizza.com. Tonight's a good night for Steph's Pizza.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less. 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com.
Hello, morning people. Tony Colombo and Katie Fitzpatrick here.
Thanks for listening to Mike Ferguson in the Morning here on News Talk STL. And don't forget to join us today at 2 for Colombo and Katie.
See you then.
All right, News Talk STL has the weekend programming you definitely want to check out. Sunday evening from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, it's the one and only State Senator Nick Schroer with Stand and Fight. The guy does not pull punch.
He does both of those things. He stands and he fights.
Here's what's funny is a lot of times somebody gets into office, and I don't know how ambitious Nick is. You know, he was in the State House, now he's in the State Senate. I don't know if this is going to be enough for him or if he wants to run for something. I have no idea. But usually once you get elected into something, you get very timid.
Yes.
Nick has not become timid.
No, he's gone extra
yes
on the other side of timid, I think, for a lawmaker, which is, I think, why he freaks people out so much.
Yeah. And so 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, you want to check out Nick Schroer's Stand and Fight right here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
A flamethrower may or may not be involved.
Exactly. Probably is. Odds are. All right, it is 7:50 on a Friday.
This segment is brought to you by Paw Factory Pet Supplies. Enter code NOTTODAYSATAN for 15% off your treats, toys, and training equipment at pawfactory.co. That's pawfactory.co. Now, without further ado, it's the weird, the wacky, and the worrisome. These are the stories that make you say.
Look on the devil.
Oh, hell no.
This can't be happening, man. This isn't happening. The devil.
There's only way to be sure.
Not today, Satan. Not today. Amen.
Amen. Okay, so for some ladies out there, manicured nails are a non-negotiable beauty item that they regularly spend money on. But one woman was left mortified when her acrylics led to moldy fungus sprouting out of her nails.
What? Could it be Satan?
Right on her fingertips. Okay, so Phoebe Shepard had just gotten her floral acrylic nails about a week into December of last year when she returned to the salon to get a new style painted on ahead of a Christmas party. Okay, so she got new nails and then new nails on top of those nails. Essentially.
Right. Okay.
Now, when she had, that's when she had festive nails removed in January of this year. She discovered her nails were covered in green moldy splotches. So apparently moisture had gotten trapped between the acrylic layers and made a perfect breeding ground for fungus. Now, while Phoebe managed to get rid of the fungus itself, the green stains were permanent, and she had to wait several months for it to grow out.
So she has fingernail gangrene?
Yeah, basically. She actually looked up the I don't want to say disease, but she looked up the condition, and yeah, there's a specific fungus that likes to grow on nails. In certain conditions.
Man.
Yeah.
Hey, some women out there, if you see them, they will go all out on their fingernails.
Oh, the nails are crazy.
There's one of the friend that my wife and I have. She she does the fingernail fancy like painting and stuff
Mhm.
to where she's kind of like a mini Instagram star on it.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, and now I don't think she does the fake ones. I think she just like if you've got like you've grown out your nails long
Mhm.
enough and you take care of them,
Right.
then she can do all this crazy stuff on there. But that's like a huge thing for women if you want that without
Mhm.
it being gangrenous.
yeah. You don't want Mr. Grinch fingernails.
No.
All right. So in our second story here, there was a nighttime break-in at a New Jersey elementary school, and the ensuing chase through the hallways was caught on police body cameras. It was a deer. Get out of here, deer. Now, luckily, like I said, it was at night, so school was not in session. But it's kind of hilarious watching the light on the police body cam just kind of chasing this deer as it's running down the hallways there.
I have a question.
Mhm.
What did the cop think he was going to do if he caught the deer?
Well, we actually got to find out because the Toms River Police Department shared the video on Instagram showing officers conducting a foot chase with the four-legged trespasser inside Cedar Grove Elementary School. Now, the deer, which had entered through a glass window, ended up in a classroom where it proceeded to walk on the teacher's desk, tear down classroom decorations, and just kind of generally make a mess of the place. Now, they did actually get a rope around it.
Okay.
But that's about when it started walking on the desk.
Yeah.
Okay, so officers opened the rear door and guided their new furry friend to the exit, police wrote. The deer was last seen headed north. So they actually got it out of the
Was it a fully grown deer?
It was a little small guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
because these things grow. People forget because they're beautiful
How
animals.
massive.
Mhm.
Yeah, how big these animals get.
Yeah.
And, the only criticism I'm going to give, and I try not to criticize law enforcement,
Mhm.
do you know how delicious
Venison, man.
venison is?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that just seems like a really wasted opportunity. But it just seems like every year, 2 or 3 times a year, you see some video. Like I saw one of a fully grown deer running headfirst into a window in like a deli.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
And people are like, how can that happen? That deer must have rabies or something. Well, no, during hunting season, they know to get on the move, and they don't make the distinction between the glass. They don't see the glass.
Yeah.
And so they will crash in and they will tear stuff up. Those things are huge.
Now, one of the real a real big male, like during
Oh,
during
yeah.
ruck when they're out for females and they're usually fighting. Sometimes
When
if
they're
they
horny.
when they're horny, when it catches the light right on one of these things, it'll be a mirror. So they'll just see another buck in their
Yeah.
territory. So they'll go head first into that bad boy.
They're
So-
like, this doe is mine.
Exactly. This whole territory is my
That's
place.
right, man. Don't be messing with my does.
You got that Riz. All right, so a Texas woman, our last story here, a Texas woman had an early holiday surprise when she found an opossum hiding in her Christmas tree.
Hell no, to the no, 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 yeah, to the no.
You got to sing that one. All right, TikTok user Brett Brat 359 posted a video of her unwanted house guest's little face peeking through the branches of her beautifully decorated Christmas tree. As she'd go on to explain, she heard some noises in the front room that she originally thought were her own pets, but she eventually spotted the possum's giant rat tail sticking out from the tree.
I mean, do possums look like Tim Burton characters or not?
They do. They're just kind of abnormal.
They are some of the most
creatures.
unsympathetic looking creatures you're ever going to find.
The baby ones are kind of cute.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that big tail. That tail throws the whole
Okay.
animal off.
2 things about possums.
Yeah.
One is that they're actually really beneficial because they eat a lot of bugs.
Yes.
Secondly, they are mean as hell.
Oh, they can be. Absolutely.
They will tear part of you apart.
Now, on that note, she slapped on some rubber gloves and managed to put it outside. She grabbed the thing.
Oh, wow.
So,
You know, I've
Grab it by
grabbed
the
them
tail.
before, too,
yeah, grab it by the tail, actually.
You have to get it. Don't grab it by the tail.
Because
Oh.
it can turn. It can turn
It
and
can
get
turn.
you. Now, I think she got both.
Yeah,
tail,
okay.
tail and
yeah.
head.
You
yeah,
get
so.
the tail and behind the scruff.
Yeah.
And if you're hesitant at all, don't do it.
Right, because just that hesitation, it'll get
Yeah.
you. As an animal lover, I probably would have kept it if it didn't smell so horrid, she said.
Oh, yeah. Those
yeah,
things are gross.
No. When it comes to stinky wild animals camping out in my boughs of holly, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because the devil.
Oh, hell no.
This can't be happening, man. This ain't happening. Devil.
There's only way to be sure.
Not today, Satan. Not today. Amen.
What do you think Quentin owes us today?
Oh, It's at least breakfast, if not lunch.
I got a call like 10 minutes before the show started from Tony Colombo, and he's like, "Hey, Quentin overslept."
Those 20-hour work days.
I'm thinking lunch.
Yeah, I'm thinking lunch.
Who's got the good buffalo chicken wrap around here?
Oh yeah.
All right,
Got to check out all these new places.
Let's come up with that. I'm looking for suggestions on the Rumble chat box.
Yeah,
Where should Quentin treat us to a lunch because he came in late?
Dealing with storm damage? Don't panic. Eureka Contracting and Roofing is here to help. With the recent storms, they understand it can be overwhelming. Remember, you don't have to rush into signing with the first door-to-door salesman. Don't let pushy sales tactics force you into a contract you're not comfortable with. Before making decisions, take a moment. Give the folks at Eureka Contracting and Roofing a call like I did for a no-pressure inspection. They'll assess the damage, determine if it's insurable. If it is, they'll guide you through the insurance process, and your only out-of-pocket expense will be your deductible. Eureka Contracting and Roofing, 636-938-ROOF, eurekacontracting.com.
Newstalk STL is proud to have Doug Voss as part of our lineup every week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 3 times every weekend on Newstalk STL. And in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
The Republican Party, City of St. Louis, extends its deepest thanks to Attorney General Andrew Bailey for the awaited report on Kim Gardner. Attorney General Bailey, in a city where every heartbeat matters, you've been the steady hand guiding us back to safety. Your persistent hard work and dogged pursuit of justice have begun to paint a new picture of hope and security in the city of St. Louis. To read the news article, full report, and executive summary, go to stlouisrepublicans.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC, Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. America's employers hired 199,000 people last month, an increase from 150,000 jobs added in October. The unemployment rate falling from 3.9% to 3.7% in November. Healthcare and government hiring led the way last month. There is another Chinese spy balloon floating around out there, but this time it's being reported by Taiwan. Taipei says the balloon is over the Taiwan Strait and is accompanied by a large-scale movement of Chinese military aircraft and ships. Presidential son Hunter Biden facing a new indictment. This time, it's for tax charges.
Hunter Biden already faces firearms charges in Delaware. Documents filed in California Thursday show the president's son has now been charged with 3 felonies and 6 misdemeanors for filing a false return and tax evasion, centered on at least $1.4 million he owed between 2016 and 2019. Special counsel David Weiss says Hunter Biden spent millions of dollars on an extravagant lifestyle rather than paying his tax bills. The charging documents detail spending on drugs, luxury hotels, and exotic cars. The charges come after the implosion of a plea deal. Biden's defense attorney Abby Lowell argues prosecutors bowed to political pressure. I'm Jennifer King.
A school gunman to be sentenced today in Michigan.
In a suburban Detroit court, Judge Kwame Rowe will decide whether Ethan Crumley spends the rest of his life in prison without a chance for release, or if he gets a long sentence but an opportunity for parole someday. That's really the question.
Correspondent Ed White says Crumley killed 4 classmates in a 2021 attack at a high school. No surprise here, Russian President Putin announcing he will seek another 6-year term in office. Dow futures down 17 points. The NASDAQ futures are off 56 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Thank the pain relief. It's natural pain relief that works, and pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at relieffactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. Relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. Be the next success story.
Are you looking for a meaningful way to preserve our nation's history? Consider purchasing a Blueprints of Liberty brick. Each purchase helps to build Liberty Village. By sponsoring a brick, you become a part of the Blueprints of Liberty Village, a unique destination that brings our founding history to life. This family-friendly location will provide an opportunity for youth and visitors to encounter history like never before. Visit UnitedWePledge.org to order your Blueprints of Liberty.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Unseasonably mild again today, but clouds are taking over. I'm forecasting a high of 63 this afternoon, still about 15 degrees warmer than normal for early December. Breezy this evening, scattered showers developing, a rubble of thunder or two possible overnight and early Saturday morning, but the rain gets out of here quickly tomorrow morning. We briefly climb into the mid-50s Saturday before temperatures plunge Saturday evening into Sunday, down to 31 Sunday morning, a high that afternoon at only 42. What a change. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Missouri Wild Alchemy is a local and family-owned business dedicated to providing consumers with high-quality cannabis and education. They strive to make customers feel comfortable and to help curtail the stigma of cannabis use by having a professional and well-educated staff. They're proud to carry products from several Missouri cultivators and manufacturers. Missouri Wild Alchemy, now serving recreational customers 21 and above, as well as patients. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram, or visit MissouriWild.com. That's MissouriWild.com.
From home improvement to replacement, do-it-yourself electrical projects can be shocking. That's where Grasser Electric can help. They've been lighting up St. Louis for years. From ceiling fans and dimmer switches to repair or replacing your electric. No job is too big or too small for your home or business. Grasser Electric will even install emergency backup generators. So call Grasser Electric today before the sparks start to fly. 636-441-5200 or go to grasserelectric.com.
Mike Ferguson.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Gabe Pfeiffer.
We have a hope.
Get up, can't you hear the alarm? Get up.
What do you call a genius in President Biden's Homeland Security Department? A visitor.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up, can't you hear the alarm? Get up.
All right, Missouri statewide races are shaping up. Man, I am telling you, every election cycle is always, something.
Mm-hmm.
And every other year, there's a big election somewhere, This year's a presidential election. On the Missouri side, you've got, governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, et cetera, all being elected, Secretary of State. And that means, I think, that it is going to be a nonstop blitz of campaign stuff, especially on the Missouri side. There are elections in Illinois, too, obviously presidential. But remember, their governor elections happened 2 years ago.
Right.
Or last year, I guess. So it's not as intense on the Illinois side, but it definitely is going to be crazy on the Missouri side.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, News Talk STL streaming app. Check us out. You can listen to us on once you get to work on your computer, just newstalkstl.com. And if the boss says you're not supposed to, then you have a bad boss and quit your job and find another one. But we've also got the app as well. It just takes about 10 to 15 seconds to download. Very little memory taken up on your phone, and then you can Bluetooth it in and take us anywhere you want.
Crystal clear audio everywhere in the world.
Yep, and you can listen to us on your time as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so earlier today, and then this is going to be posted probably within the next hour and a half, former State Senator Bob Onder was on the show and formally announced that he's running for lieutenant governor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we knew this was coming.
Yep,
I mean, he told us before that he was going to make an announcement, get in the race, so this was kind of the official formal announcement that he made.
Breaking
news.
news.
So that he did that on this show, which I really appreciate. And I'm looking around at the other statewide candidates on the Missouri side, because in that race, since he announced, let's just start right there. I'm gonna have to cough here for a second. Here's what we've got. We've got Dean Plocker, who's the Speaker of the House right now. Okay,
right
now he's under all sorts of problems with people accusing him of being violating ethics rules. That hanging over his head. Lack of conservative stuff getting done. They're blaming state Senate leadership more than state House, but there's some rumblings right there. I actually don't know Dean Plocker. He's one of the few that I have not met. So I do hope to get him on the program, because he's been, pushing back pretty hard. He's been fighting, but there are a lot of accusations. Holly Rader has been on the program with a state senator. She's got a fantastic personal story.
Right.
I mean, she grew up in such a horrible situation. I mean, we're talking being in an abusive home with a lot of drug addiction, extreme poverty. Her book's been that she wrote about it all has done very well. She's been featured on national television, and now she's in the state Senate running for lieutenant governor. Wonderful story, and no matter what happens with Holly, her success story is going to be used to inspire other people.
Absolutely.
I'm still in Holly. I think I've only talked to her once in the last several months. She knows that I've challenged her on the prescription drug monitoring database,
Yes.
which has been one of her top issues. She finally got it through. I'm still irritated with that.
Right.
I think it's big government, but with her personal story, she has a different look at it.
Right.
I just don't like big government so-called solutions to this as well. So Holly, is conservative in a lot of areas, and then there's some areas where she doesn't mind the bigger government programs. The Franklin County clerk, Tim Baker, is also running in that Republican race. I think I've emailed him. I'm not sure, but if not, I will. He's welcome to be on the program. Honestly, I don't really know much about him.
Right.
So that's who's running, and now Bob Onder is in that race as well, and he's going to be traveling around the state starting on Monday, making a series of campaign announcements. I thought it was interesting when he said on Monday he's going to be in Jefferson City making his announcement speech at Missouri Right to Life, and then he said, I don't know if you guys caught this, he said, and they might have something to say as well. Okay, so we know what the implication is on that, but if there's an endorsement there, that carries a lot of weight in the Republican primary.
Especially in Missouri, my goodness, because Missouri Right to Life was one of the big organizations that kind of was behind our heartbeat bill, right? They were one of the ones pushing that, and they've got a lot of kind of political capital under their belt here in the state, right? So that endorsement would be really big on the Holly drug
Holly
thing,
Rader,
Holly Rader drug thing. I find that fascinating too, because I guess I can look at the drug issue generally similarly to her position, similarly to the way I look at the marijuana issue. Because from my background, marijuana has always been associated with a certain type of person, and those people did not make my life in the hood very good.
Right.
So I have a sort of reflexive view of those things. But in terms of governance, my ideological position on the smallness of government overrides my personal disdain for it, and I would, and I have advocated for not. I haven't stood in the way, I'll say it that way,
right.
of legalization of drugs. So it's kind of interesting that she has a certain point of view that's on some level similar to mine on drugs, but she made it a big goal to push a sort of big government solution to that issue. So I find that fascinating.
I'm still really irritated that they want to card me to buy cough medicine, or they've made the cold and flu medicine so weak they don't really work anymore.
Yeah, you got to go behind the counter to get the real stuff.
Because and then you got to card it. They're going to card you and record that you bought it.
Yeah,
which it's not the government's business when I have a cold.
Right.
It's not the government's business when I have the flu.
Right.
Okay, and as we're going to talk about at 8:35. It's not the government's business if I catch COVID.
It's
Absolutely. Period. So 8:35, yes, we're possibly going down that
we're
route.
We're coming back here with that.
But I think all eyes in Missouri are going to be on the governor's race.
True.
Okay, so yes, there's a big list of a bunch of people who are filing. On the Republican side, you've got three pretty distinct candidates here.
Mhm.
Mike Kehoe, the lieutenant governor. You've got Bill Eigel, state senator out of St. Charles, and then you've got Jay Ashcroft, the Secretary of State. All three of them have significant support. You're going to see polling numbers tossed around by all the campaigns. As of right now, those polling numbers don't mean a lot.
No.
Because you've got three who have just they have different outlooks. Now, Jay Ashcroft and Bill Eigel in particular, both very conservative.
Yes.
Okay. Bill Eigel, part of the conservative caucus,
yeah.
which the media just hated because they were very uncompromising, and they got the powers that be in the establishment just really didn't like it because Bob Onder and Bill Eigel and Nick Schroer and a bunch of them, they're like they're getting in the way of stuff. And the conservative caucus was like, yeah, that's the idea. We want to get in the way of bad stuff.
Yes.
Here. And Mike Kehoe, of course, very, very popular with kind of that Chamber of Commerce type of Republicans.
Yep.
As well. Now,
I don't want to say big business Republican, but it's close.
Here's the thing is and I've interviewed Mike Kehoe, a few times, and he's an impressive guy. He's an incredibly smart guy. He's a very good politician. Now, is he going to be as ideological as Jay Ashcroft or Bill Eigel? No. But he's going to be somebody who, if elected, is going to probably be one of those power broker governors.
More capable of getting things done, as they say. Right?
And that can be good and that can be bad.
That can be good and bad. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the Democrats have a couple of candidates. There's a guy named Mike Hamra, who I don't know anything about. And then the minority leader in the State House, Crystal Quate. Now, she is, you talk about far left. She's just basically volunteering to be their sacrificial lamb.
Yes.
In this race, and probably in hopes that she runs a good enough campaign to help out some candidates down tickets so they can win a few more, state House or state Senate seats. But whoever wins the Republican primary, unless something completely unforeseen and crazy and unpredictable happens, the Republican primary will decide who the next governor is.
Do you think we're going to get a lot of outstate money for the Democrat candidates in this one?
Comparatively speaking, I don't think so because it's essentially a lost cause. I think the out-of-state money is going to come in the form of those initiative petitions.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, the pro-abortion initiative petitions, referendum, trying to get that
sign, by the way.
Right, declined to sign. And then there's likely going to be one regarding guns that's going to try to get voters to say it's okay for local governments to have gun control laws. I think that's where the out-of-state money is going to come in, and I think it's going to be to the tune of millions of dollars.
Absolutely, because it takes, $3 million basically to buy a state amendment.
Right, a constitutional amendment. So it takes about $1 million, and I'm looking at what it has cost for previous constitutional amendments.
This is historical numbers.
Historical numbers. It generally takes about $1 million to run the petition drive to get enough signatures to get it on the ballot.
Okay.
And then from there to have a successful constitutional amendment vote to actually win. Recent history in Missouri tells us you need between $2.5 and about $3.1 million. So essentially, and that includes the petition drive.
Right.
So essentially, for $2.5 to $3.1 million, you can buy yourself a Missouri constitutional amendment.
Man,
that's really where we're at.
That's wild.
And so that is one of the reasons that we're so irritated. The legislature did not do initiative petition reform,
right?
In the state, because it takes the same number of votes to just pass a referendum, which is just a law the voters can pass, which can then be dealt with the legislature, and there's checks and balances.
And we've seen that happen.
Right.
To actually positive effect.
Right, yeah.
Really.
Versus an actual constitutional amendment, because what you have are the pro-abortion folks. They want to make Missouri as pro-abortion as California or Illinois, which is why decline to sign. Basically, no matter what anybody puts in front of you, just be thinking decline to sign.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all of the petitions out there are bad, but I'm saying is when in doubt, don't.
I'm already triggered by seeing somebody with a clipboard in front of a store that I'm going
Yeah.
towards. So I'm already like, nah, bro.
Do you want here to sign this petition? Do you want children to be nice to puppies? No, get away from me.
that's pretty much how I'm
Yeah.
feeling. And that's the thing too. There's no law that says they can't lie to you about what
Oh
you're
no,
signing.
they can lie to you. Totally lie to you. Now it's your responsibility to read the stuff on the petition. But no, they can tell you anything. It's like, hey, we're trying to save the children in this third world country. We signed the petition, and if you just sign your name,
it doesn't matter what it says.
doesn't matter why you signed it. They can lie to you.
Yep.
And that's the thing is, I actually have managed a petition drive before in West Virginia when I worked for the Bob Barr campaign, and we were trying to get him on the ballot there, which they had incredibly strict ballot access, and eventually it ended up in court. It was us and Ralph Nader,
right?
And their people and our people were working together. So I know firsthand how hard it is to run a petition drive. I've done it, and even though it's really hard, I sent a few people home because they were acting unethically,
right?
And so that actually happened, and we had a few others quit because it was really hard to do. And then we brought in backups and resources, and we got the number of signatures we needed, but we missed deadlines, and so. We challenge their laws in court, but it is really, really hard to get those signatures, which is why the millions of dollars is required for this.
Yeah, those people are paid for their signatures.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why they are incentivized to lie.
Yeah, the going rate back in 2008 was $1 per valid signature. That's what you got. Now, because if you you collect hundreds of signatures in a day, you can make some pretty good money.
Yep.
That's the cost of getting it onto the ballot.
Right.
Now, what we found was there were some people who were just going and forging names and like, look, 25 of them here. And we're like, yeah, they all have the same signature and handwriting.
Same handwriting.
Get out.
Yeah, you're done.
You're done.
Wow.
That happened. And then the Attorney General's race. Now, this is going to be really interesting as well. Andrew Bailey running to keep the job to which he was appointed by Governor Parson,
right?
And Will Scharf as well. Now, Will Scharf is one of the attorneys, at least he was, I think he still is, working on some of the Donald Trump defense.
Right, that's
as
right.
well. So he's working on some of that, but he's still running for Attorney General. The Republican primary is likely going to decide who is in the Attorney General's office.
Yeah.
But watch the Democratic race because it's getting really silly.
Is it?
Yeah. There's State Representative Sarah Unsicker, who's like from Shrewsbury. She's something. Let's put it that way. And then there's Elad Gross, who's kind of a rising star in the Democratic Party. Well, Sarah Unsicker just has a habit of saying stupid things on social media. And
don't they all, though? Sorry, go ahead.
She voluntarily posted a picture of her having like coffee or drinks or something or lunch or something with a guy that I've never heard of him, but they're like, he's an alt-right conspiracy theorist guy, and I don't know anything about the guy. I've never heard of the guy.
Sure.
But apparently he's like fringe right.
Okay.
And she like voluntarily put that up on social media to the point where Crystal Quaid, who's the minority leader, has now stripped her of one of her committee assignments.
Oh, my gosh.
On the future of the Democratic caucus. Like, we need to talk about this, whether or not you can continue to be. That's how mad they are of her putting that picture up on social media. Now, Sarah Unsicker is like beyond left wing.
Yeah.
Elad Gross is pretty far left, but she's there. But that's going to be a source of constant amusement, I think, if you want to follow it.
So it's an Unsicker Gross race. Or a Gross Unsicker.
Boy, that's a really unfortunate
it's a
marquee matchup name there, isn't it?
It's very unfortunate.
Yeah. All right. 314-912-1019. Got some thoughts on that. Open to hear them. Got the news roundup coming away to get you caught up. We normally do this at 5:45 and 8:20. We couldn't do it at 5:45 today.
Yeah. Yeah,
See,
we were shorthanded.
Quentin wasn't here because he overslept. So this is this will be the first time we are debuting
the
news roundup.
The news roundup
right here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
On 1,000.
Is your family prepared for the financial burden of losing a loved one?
Are you aware of the cost of a funeral?
Benjamin Schaefer with Senior Memorial could help you qualify for lifetime permanent final expense insurance coverage with no medical exam required.
Just answer a few health questions, and once accepted, your rates never increase.
Do you have diabetes? High blood pressure?
Have you had a heart attack? A stroke?
No problem.
Benjamin Schaefer with Senior Memorial can help protect your legacy.
Call or text 314-866-8886. That's 314-866-8886.
To learn more about permanent lifetime final expense insurance coverage.
Benjamin Schaefer with Senior Memorial could help you qualify for immediate coverage by answering just a few health questions.
Call or text 314-866-8886 or learn more at memorialplans.com. That's memorialplans.com.
Policies underwritten by Senior Life Insurance Company, not available in all states.
We all know the healthcare system's broken. It's not about you. It's about the code, the bill, the 7-minute appointment. Hi, it's Dr. Randy Tobler, and I've developed a better way that restores old-fashioned values with a holistic approach to your healthcare. That means affordable, available, no copay or deductible primary care. And with my 30-plus years as an OBGYN, there's added value for women and couples. Whether it's a new or nagging problem, you need a second look at a troubling diagnosis, or simply want a trusting, relationship-based healthcare experience, give us a look at Body of Health Direct Primary Care. Our mission is to provide exceptional, accessible, and truly affordable care where the focus is on you, not insurance denial and cookbook medicine experts. And with your membership, there's a number of perks, including hundreds of free meds, in-office ultrasound, common diagnostic tests, and more. Interested in seeing me or learning more about healthcare the way it ought to be? Schedule an appointment or a discovery call at bodyofhealth.com. That's bodyofhealth.com.
Imagine a world where hands reach out to help one another and to help our first responders. Did you know that a recent study by Western Connecticut State University reveals that with each hour spent volunteering, your own happiness goes up by 16%? If you've ever wanted to be the spark, the change maker, the time is now. Volunteer a few hours with the David Dorn Foundation and ignite a new day for police officers and first responders. Visit dornfoundation.com and join as a volunteer. We're waiting to hear from you.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Live and local.
Listen to what those local folks are telling you.
News Talk STL. Like and subscribe to us on Rumble. News Talk STL.
A little quiet riot to start your day there. All right. Hunter is indicted again. Again, and a local police chief gets the boot. I would tell you why, but we don't know. I'll explain here
Okay.
in just a moment.
Wow.
All right. It is coming up on 8:25 right now. I'm Mike. Got Gabe here. We got Quentin in for Stell today. Hunter Biden gets hit with an indictment in California. He's now facing 3 felony and 6 misdemeanor charges related to his not paying taxes on millions of dollars in income from Burisma and from his sweetheart cushy jobs with Chinese equity firms. Special counsel David Weiss says the charges are specifically about $1.4 million in taxes not paid from 2016 to 2019. Charges include accusations of filing a false tax return and tax evasion. Now, if convicted of these charges, Hunter Biden could face up to 17 years in prison, but he's not going to. There's the spoiler. It ain't happening.
Yeah, not going to serve a day.
No, these are new charges, not to be confused with the gun charges that he's facing in Delaware.
Right.
So he's got the East Coast, West Coast charges now because these are in California where he lives. And so he's got the gun thing in Delaware and he's got the tax thing. You know, basically they're like, yeah, he made millions of dollars and he had enough money to spend on strippers, hookers, and blow and, you know, but he didn't have money, you know. And believe me, I say do everything you can to get your tax bill down as low as possible.
Absolutely.
You know what? I just
legally avoid as many taxes as
paying the government is the least of my priorities.
Yes.
I absolutely I like we got a note, Rachel and I got a note the other day from the IRS that said, "Oh, we looked at what you paid. You still owe us $100 from last year." Oh, really? We paid you like $10,000 in taxes.
Oh my gosh!
Mean, come on.
No.
Yeah.
No more for you.
F you.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Elon Musk meme here.
Yes, precisely. And they assessed like an interest in a penalty.
Did they really?
Yes, because we missed it by like $100.
You know what happens when we overpay them?
Yeah.
We get no interest.
No,
there are no penalties.
Not even like a little tin of cookies or something.
Actually, we have to fill out paperwork so that they can give us our money back. Yeah. And when they do send us a check, they want us to be grateful.
Right. Our government is so far in debt. The audacity.
The audacity.
To come after us over pennies.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Absolutely.
Okay, get this, because I think it was Gabe. I think it was you. Maybe it was you, Q. Talking about where are the feminists when it comes to the Hamas, sexual assault and rapes. Okay, we're starting to hear some of them a little bit. Multiple women's groups, they've generally been silent on the documented issue of Hamas's sex crimes against women on and immediately after the October 7th terrorist attack. And we know about these because Hamas recorded, photographed, and bragged about it.
Yes.
That's how we know that it happened, okay? These aren't accusations from Israel.
Right.
Hamas told us that they were doing it and then provided all the proof to show that they really did. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Democrat out of New York, very liberal, was on. She says that she is frustrated with the silence of these women's groups, also of the United Nations. She was on Fox's America's Newsroom.
I don't understand how we cannot have solidarity amongst all women in the United States and globally, that using rape as a weapon of war is unacceptable. It has to be condemned.
Yeah, it does. But you know what Cori Bush is demanding?
What's that?
Ceasefire.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is still where she's coming from. So, left-wing lawmakers, and she spoke with Ilhan Omar and some others, demanding that the U.S. pressure Israel into stopping their effort to destroy Hamas. Here's her speaking on Capitol Hill.
When we see children, mothers, fathers, and grandparents killed or left to nothing but horror, we have to act. We cannot be silent.
Oh, okay. Who's doing that to the kids?
What's funny is what she said is true from the Israelis' point of view.
Yes.
It's like, yes, when we see women and children hurt by our enemies over there, something has to be done.
Yeah.
They're doing it right now.
So guess what happens if you convince Israel to back up and back off? Hamas does it to more people. The reality is that Cori Bush is an anti-Semitic bigot.
Yes.
Who doesn't care if Israeli women and children are harmed by Hamas. She is so worried and so focused on protecting Palestinians, which, by the way, they elected Hamas to be their government.
And they approve of their actions.
They approve
in large numbers.
Huge numbers. So this is about Cori Bush, once again, just simply being anti-Israel and being anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
I mean, who voted her in? I mean, who voted
Cori Bush?
in?
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, St. Louis.
I mean, it's not not over there. It's not. I mean, she goes so hard for the Middle East over there.
Yeah.
And the people who voted her in, I mean, we're just left here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So she's still gonna say defund the police over here.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But it's going to be interesting. We talked about the politics and the races in the last segment. Wesley Bell is an absolute threat to her.
He's a legitimate
He
challenger.
could beat her in the primary.
Oh my gosh,
it is
I so hope he
absolutely
does.
possible. And again, what happens then is you basically get the same votes.
Yes.
In Congress. 'Cause
Absolutely.
Wesley is very far left. But you don't have the crazy, you don't have the anti-Semitism, and he's able to actually make deals and bring stuff to St. Louis.
That would be nice.
That's the difference. Now, he's still going to be radically far left on pretty much everything. I don't think I'm going to agree with him on much.
Yeah. I mean, but if you can come to the table, sit down and talk, and have a conversation.
I've never had a problem
That's a
talking.
plus.
I've never had a problem talking to Wesley. I mean, I don't think you were here before. Wesley was at my wedding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he's friends with Rachel, and I interviewed him a few times on TV. You know, I've known Wesley for a while. I disagree with him on just about everything, but I can sit down. I can sit down and have a cup of coffee with a guy.
See,
without a doubt.
Cori Bush, she just seems like a crazy and unhinged bad person. Like that, I wouldn't want to be. You know what I mean?
Okay, so to be fair, I've interviewed Cori Bush too back when I had the TV show, and well, yeah, it's pretty much that.
It's pretty much it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, a couple things real quick here, and I know we're going to go over by a minute or so, Q. Baldwin's Board of Aldermen fired their police chief this week, but we don't know why.
that's random.
Yeah. Okay. So the board voted unanimously to can Chief Douglas Schaeffler. Now, he'd been on paid leave since October, and the city says, well, it's a personnel matter, so they won't disclose why he was fired.
Interesting.
And you were talking about
an
an executive administrator. I think the people have a right to know why somebody like that. If you fire the guy who, picks up at the park,
right?
That's a personnel matter.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
this is different.
So and so at Parks and Rec got canned because of X, Y, and Z. But here, this is big. The chief of police.
The chief of police.
Come on, tell me
exactly. Okay, real quick here. This is bizarre. Okay, so some good Samaritans worked together to stop a woman who tried to set fire to Martin Luther King Jr.'s childhood home in Atlanta.
That's a wild
This
story.
is crazy. It really is. So here's some audio from WAGA, which is a TV station in Atlanta. This is Rob Durazino, who's a reporter with Fox TV Atlanta, whatever their channel is. He describes what happened.
Witnesses told police the woman came up to the home carrying a gas can before 6 p.m. They say that she then proceeded to douse the plants and porch with what they say smelled like gasoline. The bystanders, who included 2 off-duty NYPD officers, jumped into action and pinned her down until APD showed. Later, they told cops they intervened when they saw her try to light a lighter. The King Center released a statement thanking first responders, saying, quote, "Fortunately, the attempt was unsuccessful thanks to the brave intervention of Good Samaritans and the quick response of law enforcement," adding, "Our prayers are with the individual who allegedly committed this criminal act."
Okay, she's a 26-year-old woman, and that's all we know about her.
I mean, the only thing I got from that report was what was NYPD doing down there?
No, they were like tourists.
They were
They were off duty. Like these guys were like on vacation.
They were just chilling.
Yeah, I mean they were off. They were
so
off
random.
duty.
Terrible luck
Yeah.
for her.
So somebody,
gotcha.
But there's video of her throwing the gasoline.
Yeah, seriously.
all over the place.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And did you catch what else was unexpected about this?
No,
When
no.
You look at her.
No. Oh, she was black.
black
She's
woman.
black.
Yeah, she's black. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that tells me she's probably just crazy.
She great.
Yeah.
He didn't know
precisely.
whose house that was.
All right, Blues start a 2-game road trip, play Columbus tonight, and they are 13, 11, and 1, 6 o'clock game.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Unseasonably mild again today, but clouds are taking over. I'm forecasting a high of 63 this afternoon, still about 15 degrees warmer than normal for early December. Breezy this evening, scattered showers developing, a rubble of thunder or two possible overnight and early Saturday morning, but the rain gets out of here quickly tomorrow morning. We briefly climb into the mid-50s Saturday before temperatures plunge Saturday evening into Sunday, down to 31 Sunday morning, a high that afternoon at only 42. What a change. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
News commentary.
Michigan Democrat tyrant Governor Gretchen Whitmer is mandating all state government vehicles go 100% electric. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Untuckit has everything he needs this holiday season. Shop now and save big with our biggest sale of the year happening at untuckit.com or at any of the 80-plus Untuckit stores. Untuckit shirts are designed to be worn untucked. They keep him looking sharp and feeling comfortable. He'll love to unwrap one of our iconic button-downs, super soft flannels, or cozy sweaters. Get them while they last during our biggest sale of the year. Shop Untuckit's biggest sale of the year happening now at untuckit.com or at any of our over 80 stores.
Michigan Democrat Governor Whitmer is on a power trip again, literally. Not only has she signed one of the most aggressive green energy legislative packages in the country, now she's laying down new big green rules. This time serving up a mandate that all state-owned vehicles be 100% electric. Light-duty state-owned vehicles will have to be 100% electric in 10 years, and heavy-duty ones will have until 2040 to transition. This isn't a win for Michigan or the environment, it's a win for China. But Whitmer touts her demand as good for pollution, but that's actually a lie given it takes more energy and produces more pollutants to build an EV than a traditional fuel-powered vehicle. Then there's the fact that Michigan, much like the rest of the United States, doesn't have the charging stations to support these electric vehicle decrees. Clean energy would be great if it were useful or reliable. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show Tommy Lahren is Fearless at Outkick.com.
You want to give a unique gift this holiday? I suggest Stolac Whiskey, produced in Missouri. Stolac Whiskey, born of natural limestone filtered water from the Ozark Highlands, aged in Missouri oak. Stolac, so smooth. Trust me, you're going to enjoy it. So next time, ask for Stolac. Visit the website, stolac.com. Stolac, Stowloch, from Stone Ledge Distillery. Vincent's Jewelers carries a full selection of lab-grown diamonds and jewelry containing lab-grown diamonds. Lab-grown diamonds are a great alternative to natural mined diamonds. They have the same physical, chemical characteristics of a traditional diamond, beauty, durability you want, but at a 70 to 90% discount. See them in person at Vincent's and at vincentsjewelers.com. vincentsjewelers.com.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue, and after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates, so there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
To do everything possible to see the hostages are freed, all the hostages.
News, analysis, opinion.
I'm not making a diagnosis, but I'm saying he has a cognitive issue related to his age.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Like us on Facebook at News Talk STL.
Gabe, you remember the video to this song, The Final Countdown by Europe?
I don't.
Okay, so this was like one of the cheesier stage performances where it's like, okay, you hear that beat, bring that up just a little bit. And where like the whole band in unison just going down, back, down.
Oh, yeah.
Down, back. 'Cause you got to get the hair flopping.
Yes,
everywhere.
yes, that's right. Okay.
Back when music was at its best.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
80s.
Just saying.
80s and 90s.
All right. It is coming up on 8:39 here. Gabe Pfeiffer's here. Quentin's here. He's in for Stell today. All right. I hate to put this out there, but it looks like my sort of radio fear-mongering is coming true, because I kept saying over and over and over, keep an eye out on the Sam Pages of the world, on these so-called health officials. That I'm not even going to, in quotes, say health experts anymore, because we know they're not. And I have to give a little bit of credit to, I have to give a lot of credit to Shannon Robinson, who filed the Robinson case lawsuit, which ended up with the courts declaring all of that shutdown, lockdown mandates, all of that illegal and unconstitutional. But she posted that the St. Louis County Department of Public Health has they're kind of feeling the water, testing the water here to see how much they can scare us. And sure enough, I went to their website, and there is a media release warning us about an uptick in COVID.
Here we go.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. It starts off by saying DPH, which means Department of Public Health, is seeing a rise in COVID-19 cases in St. Louis County.
Oh, noes.
Yeah. As of today, the rolling 7-day average has climbed to 166 new cases per day, reflecting a 45.1% increase over the past week. Okay, 45.1%, we're all going to die.
You insert the Macaulay Culkin.
Right, yeah.
Slapping his cheeks. We're all going to...
Okay, 166 new cases in a county of 900,000 people.
During cold and flu season.
During the respiratory virus season.
Right.
That's not even a fraction of 1%.
Right.
That is nothing, but they're putting out a press release. And by the way, the 45.1% increase, let's just put that in context. Okay? So let's say that they had, 10 cases of whatever.
Right.
You could say COVID. You could say monkeypox. You could say leprosy. I mean, anything you want, okay? And there were 4 new cases. That's a 40% increase for a total of 14.
That's how the numbers work, guys.
That's how you do that.
Yeah.
All right?
You got to be careful when they use numbers. I mean, numbers don't lie, but people lie about numbers.
Yeah. So here's the thing, guys, is they're saying in this press release here, and let me just read it directly from the press release.
Okay.
DPH recommends that residents prioritize personal protective measures to mitigate Remember that word? The transmission of the virus. This includes getting vaccinated, wearing masks in indoor public places, practicing social distancing, and washing hands often. Okay, well, first of all, you should be washing your hands often.
Yeah, please.
You should do that.
Come on,
12
man.
months out of the year. Seriously, wash your hands.
Gosh,
I mean, it's like, there are times like, I will be washing my hands and see somebody go in and like use the bathroom and then walk out.
Oh, man.
Then I've actually had this happen where I walk out like, oh, hey, Mike, good to meet you. And they put their hand out to shake. I'm like, no, I just saw you. Okay,
I mean, but what is practice social distancing? Like either you social distance or you don't. What is practice?
Well, you have to get good at it.
Yeah.
You just
It's
but-
like, yeah.
Okay, this is what ticks me off about that, Quentin, is because remember when they were at their peak fear mongering?
Mm-hmm. I remember.
I mean, literally, they had us. No, I should say literally. I don't want to be the guy that misuses the word literally. But people were so afraid. We were treating every other human being like we were living in an episode of The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. Like other people were patient zero, and I had to keep. Oh my gosh, dude, don't get near me. And there are certain people who who are prone to, let's say, emotional outbursts. Who were literally freaking out to be living in life with other humans near them.
I remember, and I had it. I mean, I was in the hospital with the novel virus.
Yeah.
Okay, I was one of the first in St. Louis.
You got.
I got bad. I mean, bad. It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
The virus now is not that.
No.
It's a cold is what it is. But I remember my wife and I, after I recovered, just taking a walk. And this is when the shutdowns were happening and Sam Page was killing off businesses and schools had been closed down and everything was gone.
So you couldn't go out to a restaurant.
No, you weren't allowed to. Now,
So
I will tell you, there were some restaurants that I knew basically Flip Page the Bird, and we went out to restaurants anyway that just operated illegally.
Modern day speakeasies.
Yeah.
And so we're walking around our neighborhood, and we would be a block away seeing another couple walking, and they would cross the street because you don't want, I mean, like a block away, and they walk by. Then they want to wave, and I'm like, screw you.
That's like, nah.
I was already mad. But then they go on to say, if you feel sick or are showing symptoms, please stay home and take a COVID-19 test.
No, do not take the test.
Don't take the test.
Do not take the I definitely advocate for staying home. I think that's one good thing that kind of came out of it. It's like, okay, working through the cold, that kind of pulled back a little bit. I appreciate that.
Sure.
But other than that, it's like do not take any sort of test whatsoever because all they're going to do is use that number to fearmonger.
Exactly. That's why they want the test. Because remember, it was estimated during the first COVID fear-mongering era, they said, we think that for every case we know about, there's at least one we don't know about because people didn't have any symptoms.
Right.
50% of the time. They were asymptomatic. Okay, so what they want are the numbers. And don't think for a minute, I mean, Sam Page has made it clear he will try to violate the law and issue executive orders that scares people into trying to obey him. Okay, so we know this will happen. But for instance, they go on to say, and this is so freaking arrogant. They say, when they talk about the holidays, they say, consider celebrating with smaller gatherings.
Oh, they're doing that again.
Oh, it gets worse. Opting for virtual meetups.
Oh.
So basically, screw you, Grandma. We're afraid that we're going to have too many people.
Nah.
Okay, so they're testing the waters to see how much they can scare us again.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be my go-to response.
Right.
Just think about the Elon Musk moment.
Right.
That's what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
Screw your freedom.
Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger did exactly that. That's exactly what he said. So what you have here are people who are not health experts. And I hope somebody who works at the St. Louis County Department of Public Health is listening right now, or they get sent this audio from somebody who is to say, listen to what this guy on the radio is saying about you. The Department of Public Health in St. Louis County are not experts in anything, and I don't care what kind of degrees they have. Let me tell you, because what we've seen in the last 3 years are people who have either been wrong or who have lied. We now have more than enough proof and data to tell us the masks don't do a thing.
And in some cases are detrimental
to
your health.
This is about politics. These are political liars.
They're testing the waters to see how many more people they can get to comply. They want to see, how much did this stick?
Yeah, and I've been warning about that for 2 years now.
Absolutely,
I said at some point
they're going to bring it back.
They're going to try to bring it back, and I think I actually said, and what they're going to do the first time is just dip their toe in to see what kind of reaction they can get. I am telling you, now's the time to have the conversations with your favorite restaurant, with your favorite bar, with your favorite store, saying, if they do this again, do you still want my business or not?
Right. Yeah.
Make it clear to them that there will be a price to be paid for succumbing to the fear-mongering.
Absolutely.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Like us on Facebook at News Talk STL.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, St. Louis, brace yourself for the ultimate holiday deal with Consumer Cellular. Snag an incredible 50% off the Iris Flip when you buy before December 17th, making it only $34.50. The Iris Flip is all the phone and camera you need with a user-friendly design, the perfect flip phone companion. Plus, you'll get nationwide coverage and always free activation. Don't miss out. Head to one of our 4 retail locations in your area and seize this deal this holiday season.
Great news for my sponsor, Napoli Sea. And it's no surprise to me nor hundreds who have dined there. The first time I entered, it was clear Napoli Sea is unique. The decor, the fish, imaginative cocktails, and of course Napoli Sea is right next door to Napoli 3 in St. Charles. Napoli 2 is in Town and Country. The original Cafe Napoli is in Clayton, and I'm honored to endorse each of them. Visit any of the Cafe Napolis.
Is your retirement income at risk if you or your spouse needs nursing home or in-home care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. The cost of long-term care is one of the biggest risks in retirement planning. For many retirees, a single nursing home stay can cause a significant reduction in assets that can permanently reduce your retirement income. Fortunately, there are affordable and flexible options available today that can help you manage the cost of long-term care. Our team can help you address the risks relevant to your retirement, including long-term care. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Columbo and Katie.
Top university presidents are facing backlash after their hearings on Capitol Hill about anti-Semitism. Will they be able to keep their jobs? We'll talk about this with Gabe Pfeiffer and Ken Williams at 2:05 on Friday.
Weekdays at 2
on News Talk STL.
It's Friday!
For podcast articles and more, find us on newstalkstl.com.
All right, Vic Porcelli's coming your way here in just about 15 minutes or so. There is a chance. I have not talked to Vic. I haven't seen him yet, but I'm suspecting he might have an opinion or two on Hunter Biden being indicted.
He might say
I'm
something
just
about
guessing
that might come up in conversation just naturally.
Might have a strong opinion about it. It's
probably.
possible.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I saw somebody, I don't remember who it was, a few people on social media. They're like, okay, Hunter Biden got indicted. Okay, what's the next thing that's going to happen going after one of the Republican candidates today to try to
you know
compete with him, compete for the headline space?
You know what? I think you're right because, historically speaking, every time news came out about Hunter Biden, there was something that came out usually about Trump.
Usually,
actually.
yeah. But what's
I'm curious.
what's Trump or DeSantis or Vivek Ramaswamy going to get hit
Oh,
with?
DeSantis said something untoward about traditional Islamic garb. He
did.
He said he called it a man dress.
Man dress, yeah.
Yes, for their traditional robes.
Which is
now, to be fair,
not a smart comment.
it's not politically correct.
Yeah.
However,
Kinda
I'm
funny.
pretty sure he just slipped right back into his old military days because everybody I know who served over in Afghanistan,
which he did,
yeah, called it a man dress. Like that's what they said. That's the as far as his brain was probably concerned, that's what the name of it is.
I am of Scottish descent.
Yes.
Okay.
So if we called a kilt a man skirt,
right,
you'd be offended.
Well, I personally would never wear a kilt, but if you say that to a Scottish person,
oh yes,
you're going to get smacked.
You're going to catch something.
Yeah, you really are.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But,
I mean, which is fair.
I saw that. I'm like, man, that wasn't very smart. You know,
that's all it is.
I mean, it's something that it's something that like
the left will definitely play up on it.
they'll try to, but what they're going to find is nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
They just don't.
That's true.
But they're the ones that care.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, they're going to try to make head of it because they think everybody is as like woke as they are, and they're like, "Aren't you offended?" And people are like, probably shouldn't have said that, but whatever. You know, that's where we're gonna.
That's
be
how that
on it.
goes.
By the way, did you know Hamas was raping and beheading children? No. Israel is.
Israel,
Let's
Israel,
not,
it's like
ceasefire.
ceasefire.
This is an oppressed people.
Genocide.
Exactly. Genocide. Jeez.
Yeah. Israel does genocide really badly.
Very badly. They are bad at
Because I don't know
genocide.
if you guys know this, but like there was like 200,000 or something like that Arab Muslims living in the various places in the Israeli area when it started, and now there's like 3 million or something like that. So they've been doing the whole genocide thing like backwards. I don't know if they understand. If you're gonna get rid of them, you can't have more.
You don't take care of them.
You don't take care of them.
Right.
You don't build water infrastructure for their areas.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they're going to turn those into rockets, but that's a whole other story.
Well, they're also, but
and make a sizzle reel about it. By the way,
it's which that's how we know Hamas did it because they showed us.
Yeah. They're very proud of it.
Israel is it's well documented, well known that even when Israel injures some of their enemies, if they capture them, they go to an Israeli hospital and get medical care.
Oh, they treat you. Yeah, absolutely.
They treat their enemies that are hurt in battle.
Yeah, they adhere to the Geneva Convention.
Right.
So when you capture an enemy, you actually treat their injuries and you treat them like human beings.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's some people are going to make big deals about certain practices that they have. Like recently, I saw this picture of a whole bunch of captured Hamas fighters who were just in their skivvies. They're Well, here's the thing: when your enemy regularly straps explosives to their bodies under their clothes, it's probably a good practice to make sure they're not hiding something destructive on their person.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm not bothered by this.
No, I don't care. But they're humiliated. Well, they should be more humiliated to be part of a terrorist organization that is trying to truly commit genocide. That's their stated goal.
That's their whole thing.
All right, we've been giving Quentin a lot of crap today.
That's true. Yeah, we have been because he had a little bit of a snafu this morning. He's been putting in some hours.
You suck, right?
He's been putting in some hours, and he overslept. He slept right through a couple of his alarms, and we've been that was you. That was you. But we've been giving him a hard time, but we love him. He's
right.
awesome.
He
He's
still
awesome
owes us lunch.
He still owes lunch.
Yeah, that's what happens.
There was a suggestion for Fuzzy's Tacos. So
Fuzzy's Tacos.
I'm interested.
I haven't been to Fuzzy's forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's I don't know if it's still there. No, it is because there's a Fuzzy's right off of Watson Road, like not too far off Watson and Laclede.
Oh, yeah,
pretty good Fuzzy's Tacos down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the thing is like if I oversleep, like I overslept on was it Monday or Tuesday? I overslept.
You did.
But what's oversleeping for you?
Well, I mean, I didn't get up till 2:30.
Okay,
No, I mean 2:45. I know because I usually get up at 2.
Yeah.
And I kind of like woke up and I'm like, oh crap, know.
It's
and so
2:30.
I got in like at 3:30,
right,
or 3:45 instead of my normal
yeah,
time.
So when I got in, so when I roll in just before the show, he was like, "I'm sorry, Gabe. I overslept. I'm a little behind, but I'll send you the 7 o'clock hour in a minute here." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay,
Right? Yeah. So,
Still 2 hours before the show even starts.
yes, but Mike's a radio professional."
That's right.
but did you have that jolt?
Oh my gosh! The way I jumped out of the bed.
Oh gosh,
it was,
that feeling is one of the
it's
worst.
The worst feeling.
Yes.
Here's
like
the other
knowing that you
difference, though.
screwed up.
I live 15 or 20 minutes from here.
That's right.
I live 55 minutes.
You're in what, Belleville?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the difference.
Yeah,
because I looked at this and I can like jump into my jeans and head out. I mean, and then get here. I was still late, which made me mad.
Yeah.
Because I don't like doing that. But you know,
he can do the same thing, but then he can listen to like 4 podcasts on the way.
That's right.
Well, I appreciate
All
you
right.
guys.
Yeah, you got it. Vic Porcelli, who was on time today,
yes,
is here. He's just ahead on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL. What's that finger mean?
Hey guys, Columbo here, reminding you that if you belong to an organization like a school or a church, or your kids are part of a group or a sports team that needs to raise money, there's no better way to do so than with a TJ's Pizza fundraiser. TJ's Pizza has been helping local organizations raise money for over 30 years to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. A local company helping local people, and there's lots of different ways TJ's can help you raise big money fast. Get started now at tjspizza.com.
The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter.
Hi, it's Todd Showalter from The Right Mind Show, where we put the fun in our dysfunctional world. And there's nothing more dysfunctional than the holidays. Crowded malls, drunk relatives, and of course, the holiday fruitcake, who I refer to as my Uncle Bob. So join me and my buddy Joey B this Saturday, won't you? Hey, it's better than kissing Grandma under the mistletoe.
The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter.
Saturday evenings at 5 on News Talk STL.
Brought to you this holiday by LiberalJoke.com.
One of the 5 most traumatic experiences in life is moving. I can assure you that McGuire Moving can help ease that pressure. Moving into a new home or a new business, locally, internationally. McGuire is rated number 1. More than 80 years of experience. Free estimate, call McGuire, 314-241-0600. 241-0600. McGuireMoving.com.
Classic Kicks Country is streaming now. Hear all your new country favorites from the 90s.
I should have been a cowboy.
Streaming as it happened in the 90s. Classic Kicks.
Let's go, girls.
Download the Classic Kicks app from the App Store. Online at ClassicKicks.com.
I'll go back.
Or enable the Classic Kicks skill on Alexa.
I love this station.
90s new country streaming now.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green.
This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and always streaming at
NewsTalkSTL.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Instead of targeting the U.S. this time, Communist China has sent one of its spy balloons in Taiwan's direction. Taipei also reporting a large-scale movement of Chinese military aircraft ships.
Taiwan says the balloon passed over the northern port city of Keelung on Thursday night, then continued east before disappearing. Taiwan has threatened to shoot down such balloons, but the ministry did not say what, if any, action was taken. In response to a media query, China's spokesman Wang Wenbin says, "First of all, I want to remind you that Taiwan is part of China, and there's no such thing as a foreign ministry or defense ministry in Taiwan." Taiwan adds, as of Friday morning, 26 Chinese military aircraft and 10 Navy ships have been detected. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
3 felony and 6 misdemeanor tax charges contained in the latest indictment of Hunter Biden. Federal grand jury in California indicting the presidential son for allegedly failing to pay roughly $1.4 million in taxes while living an extravagant lifestyle.